Live from Orlando, ABC Sports College Football is proud to present the 1994 CompUSA Florida Citrus Bowl, featuring the Penn State Nittany Lions from the Big Ten Conference and the Tennessee Volunteers from the Southeastern Conference. And here come the Penn State Nittany Lions playing in their 30th bowl game in team history. Penn State with a record of 9-2 in 1993. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, along with Tim Brandt. We're in the house in 1994. And from all of us at ABC to all of you at home, all the best in 1994. Tim, when you talk about Penn State, you think about Joe Paterno looking for his 15th bowl win, all that tradition and history. And this year is no exception. They are gunning for Tennessee in this ball game.
I don't think there's any question about that, Mark. And 6th-ranked Tennessee comes in as the heavy favorite. That's been a motivator for the Nittany Lions. Take a look. We'll introduce you to some of the offensive talent. You've got to start with the big quarterback, Kerry Collins, strong-arm guy, gets better every week. And he has Kajana Carter back at running back. This is a club that averaged 35 points a game. Now defensively, Brian Geltizer is the leading tackler. Lou Benfatti will be worked and double-teamed all day, which could free up Toyola Jackson, number 97. He is a quick defensive end.
And here come the Volunteers, the crew from Knoxville. They come in with a record of 9-1-1 and 6-1-1 in a very tough SEC conference. And Tim, as always, Tennessee with an abundance of speed on both sides of the ball, and one very special quarterback too.
You know what, Mark? This is a team which is one touchdown away from being unbeaten this year. Let us introduce you to some of the offensive talent for Tennessee. And you have to start with the quarterback, Heath Schuler, 25 touchdown passes, Heisman Trophy runner-up, and running back Charlie Garner. He's got to keep some of the heat off Schuler today. Defensively, Tennessee will look to Reggie Ingram to clog the middle, stop the run. He's the Vols' second leading tackler. He's right there in the middle, and that'll free up James Wilson, the defensive end, who has 7.5 sacks. The key to Tennessee is speed.
Speed against power. Tennessee against Penn State when we come back. But now John Saunders in New York. We are back in Orlando at the CompUSA Florida Citrus Bowl, awaiting the opening kickoff. And right now, downstairs, Happy New Year, John Spagnola.
Thank you, Mark, and Happy New Year, everybody. You know, the euphoria surrounding this Tennessee football team and the success they've enjoyed so far this year has been overshadowed by one thing, and that, of course, is whether or not Heath Schuler will turn professional. Well, we had a chance to visit with Heath Schuler, and we asked him about the process that would lead to his final decision.
The whole month of December, my family and I, we have really sat down and we try to collect all the data we possibly can. I've got it all developed. I've got it binded together, and I want to take a 5-day vacation with my family, and we're going to just sit down and try to make the best decision we possibly can, because it will not only affect me, but I think it will affect my family for the rest of their lives.
And that shows you how the fans feel about Heath Schuler.
That could be the coaching staff that put that up there.
Philip Fulmer may have written it himself. I recognize the handwriting. Penn State kicking off. That's Brett Conway. Back deep. Billy Williams will get the kickoff on his own goal line. Williams with 4.3 speed, but he can't unleash it here. And he's tackled at the 18-yard line by number 28, Daryl Kania. Well, we talked about Heath Schuler just a few moments ago. This year he threw 25 touchdown passes. That is a school record at Tennessee. Penn State, by the way, they are 8-0 when winning the toss. They won the toss, but elected to kick off. A look at the backs and the receivers. Charlie Garner with over 1,100 yards rushing this year.
Faulkner and Fleming, extremely dangerous. I call them the F troop, and I guarantee you they'll try to get them involved early. The key is speed. Spread the field and use that speed early.
And that's what they're doing with 3 wide receivers. The flanker screen to Williams. Billy Williams out over the 25, tackled at the 26-yard line by Lou Benfatti, number 55, one of those key starters up front for Penn State. It'll be a gain of about 7 yards. Look at that offensive line for Tennessee. Each one of those guys did not play on the offensive line last year. That is a tribute to their skill that they've done so well this year.
That's right. Lehman was a center. They moved him. Mays was a defensive lineman. Ratliff hasn't played much at all, so it's big and strong, but relatively inexperienced. But they had a good year.
Jeff Smith, the All-American up front. Here's Garner on 2nd down. He slips at the 28-yard line, leaving him about 1.5 yards shy of that 1st down. Let's take a look at this Penn State defensive unit. We talked about Jackson in the opening. Eric Clare also strong up front. They're joined by Lou Benfatti, the second-team All-American.
He's the All-American they'll probably double up on today.
Brian Gelsheiser among the linebackers. He was the leading tackler on the defensive unit. And in the secondary, Shelly Hammonds is a professional prospect, so keep an eye on him.
Jerry Sandusky told us his team has given up some big plays. That concerns him most against Tennessee.
3rd down and 1. Opening series for the Vols. Garner has the first down and more. Charlie Garner ran for 1,161 yards this year, averaging 7.3 per carry. He showed you why right there.
He is very quick and extremely versatile, great competitor. When he arrived at Tennessee from junior college, not in shape, but he is now, folks. And I'll tell you what, he's going to hit that corner, and if they don't contain better than that and force everything back inside, Garner is going to have a huge day.
We saw him against Alabama in a tie game that they played against the Tide this year. He had 144 yards. Told me earlier this week that that game was a turning point for him this season. Here's Schuler, the weak side screen to Fleming. Corey Fleming out near midfield at the 49-yard line. A nice pickup.
You know, you have to love the game plan coming in here on the first series for Tennessee. They know the advantage they have is speed. They don't want to play into the hands of Penn State, big, strong club. What they want to do is they want to run this Big Ten team. They want to use that speed, spread the field. They've gone to the receivers wide, and they've come back inside.
Corey Fleming, another one of those 4.4 speed guys for Tennessee. A gain of 8 on first down. It's 2nd and 2. Here's Garner trying to turn the corner. He does. Charlie Garner with a first down to the 33-yard line. A pickup of 17 yards. The tackle finally made by Shelly Hammonds deep in the secondary.
Watch this play as it comes to you. Now watch 97 Jackson get hooked inside. Bam, he's caught right now, can't get back out. Outstanding block by 75 Ratliff. Then let the speed of Gardner get the corner because he's already been cut off. There's nobody outside for flood control, and they move the chains one more time.
Charlie Garner, Tim, the only one out there wearing those white shoes among the Tennessee players.
Jackson's got to keep his leverage. He's outside free.
First down and 10, the ball at the 34-yard line. Schuler checking at the line of scrimmage. Mario Brunson, the fullback in the game. Downfield, intended for number 11, Joey Kent. But it looked like, Tim, Schuler wisely threw that one away. Hammonds and Rubin providing the coverage. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Coach Philip Fulmer in his first full season as head coach in Knoxville, 13-1-1 so far in his career. On the other sideline, one of the most recognized and respected faces in all of college football, Joe Paterno. 3 wideouts for Tennessee. Here's Schuler trying to pass, and he can run too. That's why the pro scouts love Heath Schuler. He can scramble and make something happen, and so can John Saunders back in New York. John?
Well, Mark, in the Hall of Fame Bowl being played in Tampa, Michigan, and NC State, Terry Harvey is picked off by Clarence Thompson. He returns it 43 yards for the touchdown. Michigan is rolling 28-0. Let's go back to Mark and Tim.
All right, John, the Big Ten having a good day so far with respect to Michigan. Here's it 0-0. We're just underway in the first quarter. Backs out of the eye. It's Garner and Brunson.
Smith jumped too early. This will go against Tennessee.
This box for you, Central Florida. Friends know when to say when.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Mike Pereira, our official today, our referee.
Watch the right side of your line or left of your screen. 74 will come across and he jumps early.
Jeff Smith that time. As you pointed out earlier, the 3rd-team All-American moving before the snap. Schuler checking again at the line of scrimmage. finally calling a timeout as time winds down on the play clock.
He had to call that time. He did very wisely, or take the delay of game penalty. Got the timeout instead.
Coach Fulmer's going to talk it over with the starting quarterback, and we're going to take a break. Zeros here in Orlando. Back in Orlando, Mark Jones along with Tim Brand and John Spagnola. Happy New Year to you all. It's 3rd down and 6 for Tennessee on its opening drive of the ball game. They received the opening kickoff, and they have 3 wide receivers in now in the formation. The screen pass incomplete.
Great pressure from Jeff Perry and Killens both. Killens, 92, came clean. Killens has stepped in and taken the spot of Brian Monahan, who didn't make the trip, but now Killens goes off limping. So they're thin at that combo linebacker spot. Watch, coming out of the left-hand your screen, it'll be 92 Killens. He's 6 feet 219, but he's got great speed. They could feel him coming. Schuler had to unload it.
Okay, right now, John Becksford for Tennessee attempting a field goal from 46 yards out. 12 of 13 on the year. The All-American has got it. He is now 2 for 2 from that distance. He has been the picture of accuracy all year, and he has given the group from Knoxville a 3-0 lead in the first quarter. We'll be back. Keith Schuler directing that scoring drive, using up 9 plays, 52 yards, 3:06 on the clock.
Outstanding drive by Tennessee. Used everything. They used isolations, flanker screens. They ran the ball. They broke containment.
Back deep for Penn State, it's Stephen Pitts and Shelly Hammonds, and it's caught at the 22-yard line by the Nittany Lions, where they will start their offense. John Whitman, a backup fullback, making the catch, and in comes Kerry Collins, the starting quarterback for the Nittany Lions. Collins coming off one of his best games a month ago against Michigan State. He was 23 of 42 for a career-high 352 yards.
The knock on Collins has been inconsistency, especially early on. He says that's not true anymore.
Bobby Ingram, the team's leading receiver, a deep threat. He had 13 touchdown catches to tie the Big Ten record this year. Archie and O'Neal in the backfield. LaBarca in motion. They hand off on 1st down. And that's Mike Archie. Gain of about 3 yards out to the 25, but we'll have to figure out what these flags are about. There's a little motion up front. The tackle was made by Reggie Ingram, the middle linebacker for the Vols.
Tennessee jumped and moved back.
Encroachment signaled against Tennessee.
Our officials out of the WAC this afternoon.
Defense lined up in the neutral zone, 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 5.
You heard the call, 1st down and 5. Let's take a look at the offensive line for the Lions. Up front, Pickett, Malinowski, Greeley, Hardings, and Andre Johnson.
1st and 5.
Kyle Brady, the tight end, on the right side of the formation.
Play looks like it's going to the right.
Brady Scott in motion. Little play action, and Collins is sacked back at the 18. Number 92, Shane Bonham.
Shane Bonham started in 4 different positions. Very versatile guy. Started last year, blue-collar guy. He went right around the blocker. Watch this. Looks like Archie's supposed to cut him off. He doesn't. And Big Bonham, who's 260, ran right by Archie, who's just barely 200 pounds, and he got the sack. Loss of 7. Big play for Shane Bonham.
That Tennessee front defensive line, not particularly huge, but a lot of quickness up there. Loss of 7 on that play. Collins going up top to Ingram. And it's incomplete at the 30, broken up nicely by Ronald Davis.
Collins has to shake his head. That ball was perfectly thrown, but that guy Davis, right there, number 1, had great coverage. You want to use the sidelines. You want to play it inside out. You have as much right to the ball as he does. Look at him. He's playing inside out, using the sidelines, has him boxed, and then goes for the interception. At that point, the receiver, Ingram, has to become the defensive back and prevent the INT, the pick.
Ronald Davis with 1 interception coming into this game. Just a sophomore. That secondary a little bit young, but very talented. 3rd down and 12. Collins, his receiver, slips and falls at the 37. It was intended for Freddie Scott.
Collins was hit again. He had to release the ball before he was ready. That sack we saw in that series, well, Penn State had allowed just 1 in the last 4 games, so Tennessee getting great pressure early on. That time it was Morris to put the pressure on him.
A good opening defensive sequence for the Volunteers. Into punt, it's V.J. Masillo, averaging 36.6 per punt. Back need a very dangerous punt return man, and Sean Summers. He's standing on his 37-yard line.
What a great kick.
No fair catch called by Summers. He's fearless. And he returns it out to the 46. Good field position for Tennessee. 42-yard punt and 8 yards on the return. The tackle made by Kim Herring.
I thought Brian Miller, one of the Penn State guys, hit the punt returner before the ball was even there. Slid by and hit his leg.
V.J. Masillo not having a particularly good year, and Joe Paterno said that the kicking game would be very important this afternoon, and here's exactly what he had to say about it.
Well, I think it's a question of whether we can kick the ball. Don't give them easy field position. Be careful with the football because they're a very, very explosive football team, and if you get careless with it and if you look up in the 1st and 10 at midfield, you get trouble. So I think we basically got to kick the devil out of the football.
They've got a blocker, and Billy Williams is on the move. Williams, a 38-yard pickup, and he's down to the 17-yard line. Shows you some of his 4.3 speed.
Didn't mean to interrupt Joe while he was talking, but his team was being picked on.
Great execution, Tim.
Watch this. Now, they want to exploit the corners. They want to utilize their speed. Williams does have the speed. Here comes the reverse. They think it's going to Garner. Whoop. There he is. Williams comes around the outside. There's absolutely nobody there except orange shirts to line him up. Look at Lehman. Lehman got a block. Mays got a block. Big gain for Tennessee.
Garner slips and falls, and the Vols will lose a few yards on 1st and 10. Loss of about 2 back to the 19-yard line. But the Tennessee offense hitting on all cylinders so far, Tim. Spreading them out. A lot of misdirection.
2nd and 12.
And they have the ball deep in Penn State territory in the red zone at the 19-yard line. They've been efficient in this territory in 1993. 9.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. The Vols leading 3-0. Quick 3-step drop into the end zone. And it's incomplete, intended for number 12, Corey Fleming, who keeps running on through the tunnel. Fleming, a big target at 6'2". Covered closely that time by Marlon Forbes in the secondary.
Florida Central Sports now for your 1994 Florida State.
Corey Fleming did a good job at the luncheon the other day, leading the luncheon in prayer. Very thoughtful young man. Talented wide receiver. And look at that discrepancy in total yardage so far. 3rd and long for Heath Schuler in the offense. 4 wideouts in for Tennessee. Over the middle to Fleming. Touchdown Vols. The speedster out of Nashville makes it 9-0, and now 10-0 as Beckford tacks on the extra point. They go 4 plays and 55 yards to quickly.
Again, utilizing the speed, twin receivers to the right side. Penn State will bring pressure from that right side against Schuler. Schuler looks left, finds Fleming. 52, Willie Smith can't stay with him and misses the tackle. Try to get help from Rubin. And Fleming scores. High school quarterback, 6'8", high jumper. Best high school player in the state of Tennessee. Great find, outstanding throw by Schuler, who first looked to the left, located his receiver, dragging across the middle, locked on with a linebacker, saw the mismatch, threw it high, and led him perfectly. So far, it's been all Tennessee.
Whatever direction Heath Schuler and instructions he's getting on the phone, they're good ones, because the offense is in high gear. Tim, is it too early to worry if you're Penn State and Joe Paterno?
If I was Joe Paterno, I would have worried before I even started the game. Tennessee is a touchdown away from being unbeaten. As much speed as Penn State has seen all year. More speed than they've seen all year.
Yeah, it's tough to compare any team in the Big Ten to Tennessee.
This is one of the most explosive offenses in the country. I think one of the best teams in the country. Average 43 points per game.
Well, Joe Paterno is going to have to draw on his 28 years of head coaching experience to get his team back into this thing. Not that they're out of it, but there is cause for concern early.
Another reason I've been screaming for years for a national championship. This team is as good as any in the country. This bowl hadn't gotten nearly as much publicity, although Tennessee can play with any of them.
Beckford kick. Dribbles out of bounds at the 4-yard line. And Penn State will take over on the 35. Corey Fleming told me yesterday at their walkthrough that he wanted to score a touchdown, and not only that, he said he was going to do a little dance, but he didn't do that. Just took his hat off.
That is his 12th touchdown of the year.
Well, there's a lot more bowl action to come here on ABC. Our triple header continues later today as Wisconsin battles UCLA in college football's greatest bowl game, the Rose Bowl. And tonight, undefeated West Virginia stakes its claim to the national title, and they meet the Florida Gators in the USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. It's all coming up right here on ABC Sports, a big day of college football. And one of the Tennessee Volunteer supporters, this place is a sea of orange. There's a lot more orange shirts here, I think, than blue ones, Tim. They sold this place out.
Fastest sellout in the history of this bowl game.
These two teams have met 3 previous times, with Tennessee winning 2 of them. It was raining most of the morning here in Orlando, but the rain seems to have stopped now.
Big offensive series for Penn State. The Nittany Lions have to generate some offense. Absolutely did not get it going the first time the Nittany Lions had the ball.
Mike Archie, the tailback, with a nice gain of about 6 yards on 1st and 10. He's out to the 36-yard line, stopped up by Raymond Austin. Let's take a look at the Tennessee defensive unit. Up front, James Wilson, the All-SEC pick in 1993. Shane Bonham with a sack already. Yatkowski and Horace Morris. Gallion, Ingram, and Talley, the man to watch in the linebacking crew. And Jason Parker is a talented sophomore in the secondary. Second down and 4. Flanker screen. This is Ingram. Cutting back. He gets a good block at the 45. Still on his feet. And Bobby Ingram picks up 36. Penn State is down to the 29 of Tennessee. Ingram out of Camden, South Carolina.
Penn State with a page out of Tennessee's book, using speed. Watch this. They'll let that fast defense run itself out of the play. Boom, here they come now. Now look at Collins, looks and finds Ingram underneath. Everybody's picking up blockers. See 79 Malinowski throw that block, bang. Now watch this. He'll get down here and watch. You'll see 79 Malinowski show up again. Malinowski, 79, right hand to your screen, gets another block downfield.
Ingram with a nice handoff, staying up. We get our first look at Kijana Carter. Carter roughed up and knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line by Jason Parker. Carter missed a few games, but now he is back And today we see that he is not wearing the knee brace.
It's amazing to me when you look at these numbers that are on the screen right now and say he missed a few games. Over 1,000 yards, definitely became one of the nation's premier running backs this year. Then you bring in Archie. That's a nice changeup from Carter. He's been the Big Ten Player of the Week.
A nice compliment in the backfield. 2nd down and 7. Archie checking back into the game out of the offset eye. That's the fullback, Brian O'Neill. And O'Neill is near the 1st down marker. A big bruising fullback at 230 pounds. He's a senior.
See, that's a good point, Mark. 230 pounds. You saw him break a tackle there. Bonham had him locked. Bonham's 260, but it was almost like O'Neill threw him off at the line of scrimmage and then got down close to the 1st.
They bring in the chains to measure this one.
Looks like the nose of the ball is going to be right there.
And it's a 1st down. Tim, let's talk about Penn State's strategy offensively. Paterno, you would think, would try to establish that run. That is their trademark.
Well, I think he's been trying to do that. I think the play to Ingram kind of gives everybody a little pep, a little pat on the butt and say, hey, let's get it going, because the first series they really couldn't get much going. They do have a strong arm now with Collins, but I don't think Joe will ever get away from that running game. He's got to run to win.
The 2nd leading team rushing in the Big Ten Conference. Freddie Scott in motion. Screen pass. Archie gets one kick-out block, but he's brought down at the 14. A gain of about 5 yards. The tackle was made by Reggie Ingram. Things clearing up, and joining us over the Citrus Bowl today is Airship Shamu, the SeaWorld blimp. Shamu represents the SeaWorld Marine Life Parks here in Orlando, as well as California, Texas, and Ohio. He'll be providing us with tremendous pictures throughout the course of the afternoon.
You know, the pressure Collins had in that first series, he's neutralizing that with screens, little quick pop passes underneath.
2nd down and 7 here. Carter, the lone back. Carter gets the call. Kijana Carter down to the 6-yard line, and a 1st down for the Nittany Lions. 1st and goal, tackled by Deron Jenkins. So Penn State mustering up some momentum now here in the 1st quarter.
Well, I tell you, Fran Ganner must have had a talk with these guys. As you look at Carter, that play was made by a block by O'Neill, and Ingram, who was a wideout on that side, came back and got a nice block from the linebacker, opened up that side of the field.
Carter nicknamed Flash, but in comes his teammate, nicknamed Cutback, Mike Archie. He's in the backfield with O'Neill. O'Neill off tackle, nothing doing. O'Neill brought down at the 6 by Scott Gallion.
Well, what an outstanding play by Gallion, too. Coming out of his linebacker spot, inside out, came down the line of scrimmage, then attacked. Put his helmet right under his chin. Picture perfect tackle. 6'2", 230. Just a sophomore.
Mullins, the senior, Tim, with the play on 2nd and goal. O'Neill, the lone back. LaBarca in motion. Into the end zone. Oh, it's at the 2, and it's short of the end zone. Complete, though, to Bobby Ingram.
Hey, I can tell you right now, Kyle Brady, the tight end, is going to go back to the huddle, and he's going to say, hey, Kerry, I was wide open. Somebody didn't pick me up that was supposed to. Take a look at this now. You'll see Ingram, of course, makes the play, but watch Kerry. Looks to the left immediately. See him locked on to the receiver. He's locked on right here to number 10, Ingram, and throws the good pass. It gets it down inside the 5. But right in the middle of the field was Brady, who was wide open in the end zone.
Brady this time, Tim, lining up to the left of the formation. Carter and O'Neill out of the eye. It's Kijana Carter. It's a touchdown, Nittany Lions.
open this thing up for Carter. There's the hole. Here's the block. Bang. Take it in. Touchdown. You know, Penn State has now scored 17 of the last 20 times they've been in the red zone.
Craig Fayak with the extra point. Up and good. And it's 10-7. Tennessee now with just a 3-point lead. Flash with a mini flash and a touchdown. We'll be back. Back in Orlando, Mark Jones and Tim Brandon, John Spagnola. It's 10-7 for Philip Fulmer's Tennessee Volunteers. Fulmer looking for his second bowl win.
You will never find a better coached team than Penn State. Joe Paterno, I'm telling you what, made some adjustments. His coordinators made some adjustments. They eliminated the pressure from that Tennessee defense with a couple of screens. They brought it up underneath. Ingram had the big play. Then he just smash mouth football for the touchdown. Great adjustments by the Nittany Lions.
Now the task at hand, Tim, becomes Penn State's defense trying to stop Tennessee's offense. We've had two impressive back-to-back drives by each team's offense. Here's Billy Williams. Trying to get to the outside. And he's run out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Billy Williams, a junior college transfer, with a nice return. Let's go downstairs now to John Spagnola. John, what do you got?
Thank you, Mark. I was overhearing Phil Fulmer talk to his offensive team, and he said he wants to continue with the game plan so far today, and that's spread the football field offensively. He wants to make sure that Phil Fulmer and his offensive team is going to tire out this Penn State defense by making them defend the reverses and the screens and the draws and try and tire them out into the fourth quarter. Fields, if he can stick with that game plan, he can win this football game today.
Good point, John. And also, they're really up-tempo, trying to get in and out of the huddle and get the playoff.
Four receivers in, but they decide to hand it off to James Stewart. Stewart coming into the game with 537 yards rushing on the season and 9 touchdowns.
Last 3 snaps, Schuler snapped it at 25 or 15 seconds rather on the play clock. So they're in and out of that huddle. They want to keep this up-tempo game, and as John said, wear down the big Penn State defense. So far, they've been effective doing that. Their advantage, obviously, is speed and conditioning, they feel.
Seen him check at the line of scrimmage quite a few times, too. 2nd down and 7. 4 wideouts in. Schuler completes to Fleming. A first down at the 38-yard line. Shelly Hammonds making the tackle, but not before a 27-yard pickup by the senior from Nashville, Tennessee.
Using that height advantage of Fleming, using his speed as well, but this play is made by Schuler. Watch how proud and high he stands in that pocket. Looks to the right, comes back, sees Fleming coming across the middle. Fleming bobbled it, knew he was going to get hit, still tucked it away. But Schuler can look off receivers as well as anybody I've seen. Trent Dilfer can do it as well. Those two guys will be the 2 top guys, I think, in the draft.
That, of course, implying that Schuler is coming out. Stewart with the handoff. Nice pickup of about 5 yards, tackled by Lou Benfatti.
I say 2 top guys, I mean the 2 top quarterbacks taken. And I know Trent Dilfer's coming out, and I believe firmly that Schuler's coming out as well.
Well, we know for a fact that he has been gathering information from various sources regarding where he might go in the draft.
Well, and last night I spoke on the phone with a man I respect in the National Football League more than any other. He says Trent Dilfer probably ranks higher than Heath right now because there's some things that Heath can't do. But he thinks he's coming out, and he thinks he's a great one.
Stewart stopped up short of the first down. A good surge by that defense. And back to New York with John Saunders. John?
And Mark, in the Hall of Fame Bowl, the Hall of Fame may have to get a spot for Tyrone Wheatley. What a day here. 18 yards on this touchdown. Also has one from 26 yards out. Over 100 yards in the first half alone. 42-7 as NC State has turned it over 5 times. Mark.
All right, John, it's interesting to look at Tyrone Wheatley and the speed in the Michigan backfield. That was about the only comparison and similarity with this Tennessee team that Penn State has ever seen. 3rd down and 4. Complete to Billy Williams, and he's tackled at the 28. And it appears he has the first down. The tackle was made by Brian Miller. Billy Williams, a trio of Tennessee receivers who had a good year.
I'd like to know a couple of those things the NFL's talking about he needs to work on. We've already seen Schuler run the ball. He throws well. He looks off receivers. Watch the way he pulls away from center. He's got pretty good feet, throws with a lot of velocity. This ball's well thrown. You know who else they were high on besides Trent Dilfer and Schuler was Nussmeier, the kid from Idaho. Outstanding quarterback. They think he'll rank all higher than Charlie Ward.
Schuler tipped, picked off, and it is intercepted at the 13-yard line by Lee Rubin, the senior.
Tip drill, he kept his eyes on it. Great concentration, he got to it quickly. Only the 9th interception of the year for Schuler. This ball was tipped. Take a look at it, see where the ball's tipped, but again, he gets good protection. Stop it right there. Look at this. Look at this protection. Nobody even close to him. He's got a blocker in front of everybody. Then the ball gets tipped right at the line of scrimmage, and here comes Rubin. Just picks it up off the ground. That's a great interception. The old tip drill. There it is right in the middle. It's Jackson. Gets that hand on it. Hoka Jackson, 6'2", 265. Got a huge wingspan. They doubled up on him, but he kept his vision on the quarterback and timed it perfectly to tip it. He gets half that INT.
Lee Rubin, the son of a minister, now living in Detroit. You know, he said he came to Penn State because they were an independent and played a non-conference schedule. He also has a younger brother who is a college prospect. And Lee Rubin is a very thoughtful, introspective young man. We had a nice visit with him a couple of days ago.
Going to put 4 seconds back on the clock because it continued to run after the interception. One thing about Schuler, we've seen him in the past. He doesn't let things bother him when they have some adversity. The interception, he'll come back. He's very composed.
Schuler, a primetime player. And speaking of primetime, tomorrow night on ABC begins with the new episodes of America's Funniest Hour. Then the new year brings a new episode of Lois and Clark, followed by Clint Eastwood in Heartbreak Ridge. It's all tomorrow night, starting at 7, 6 Central Time on ABC. So make my day, Lee Rubin. Heath Schuler still working the phones. We have 1:31 remaining in the first half. Penn State has the ball after an interception by Lee Rubin. Ball on their own 13-yard line. They trail by 3 points. Mike Archie plowing his way forward for a gain of about 3.5. And he lost his hat in the process.
While they get off the ground and figure out what happened and what was illegal, because there is a flag down. Let me tell you, turnovers and penalties cost the Volunteers the loss at Florida. It's a face mask against Tennessee.
Probably why he lost his hat.
Again, Brian O'Neill comes up there, tries to get a block, but just watch the head of Archie. Right here. See the hand? There's the face mask. That's a personal foul. Just rips his helmet off.
Ouch. James Wilson doing the decapitation.
They say Wilson's the most physical player they have on the defensive line. Good thing that head wasn't still in that helmet.
1:18 to play in the first quarter.
Point I was going to make about that last interception is their only loss was because of turnovers at Florida. They turned it over against Alabama and tied that game.
Some critical ones at critical junctures, and an error here by Jeff Hardings, the starting right guard for Penn State.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15.
Right side of your screen, watch number 50. He's going to jump. Roll it. Bam, right there. Guilty party. See everybody else still down. He saw some movement on the defense. That's the one advantage the offense has. They know the snap count. Can't go on defensive movement.
They should know the count. O'Neill slides and falls. It is not ruled a fumble.
No, he was down. Ball was down.
Yeah, down to the 25-yard line. 38 seconds to play in the first quarter. It's been a first quarter where Tennessee's offense has been impressive early, but they threw an interception on their last possession. A second down and 18 now for the Nittany Lions. Joe Paterno looking for his 15th bowl win. And they're going to let the clock run out. That's the end of the first quarter in the CompUSA Florida Citrus Bowl. It's 10-7, the Vols with the lead. Well, Joe Pa has taken off his jacket and rolled up his pants even higher as you look at the designer cuffs.
Hey, he used to do that. I remember going up to Penn State to play against him. It'd be 10 degrees and he'd have his coat off.
Second down, 18. The flanker screen to Ingram. Ingram out to the 32-yard line. About 10 yards short of the first down. Horace Morris making the tackle for Tennessee. Ingram, a third-team All-American.
Morris was shaken up a little bit on this play, too, but he makes a great recovery. Morris is in the backfield when this ball is thrown underneath. To stop it right there, here's Morris. Morris is going to come back and keep this from being a big gainer. Great adjustment on his part. Tremendous speed.
Third down and 11. The backs are split behind Collins. Little play action. He tried to hit Brian O'Neill out of the backfield. He was covered closely by Scott Gallion. And it'll be time to punt for V.J. Masillo.
Brings up fourth down.
Fourth down and 11. I'm going to have to go into orange rehab after this game. We have seen orange all over our hotel, and even more so here today, Tim. Sean Summers back deep. He's returned 2 for touchdowns this year, and a great punt by V.J. Masillo, driving him back to the 24. Summers got rocked at the 26. A 44-yard punt with a ton of hang time and just 2 on the return. The tackle made by Jeff Davis.
4-yard punt, 3-yard reserve.
ABC Sports coverage of the 1994 CompUSA Florida Citrus Bowl brought to you by CompUSA. With over 5,000 computer products, CompUSA is the computer superstore. And Lexus luxury automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. First and 10, the ball at the 26 for Tennessee. Just underway here in the second quarter. Another flanker screen, but a drop by Billy Williams.
Had Williams and Sylvan both to the left side, was waiting to come back underneath. Seen that play on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Both teams have used it.
Tim, what kind of advantages does that give you as an offense?
Well, it's almost like option football, basically. You're spreading the field. It's a high percentage play. You're bringing it back. If the linebackers run out of the play, then you're already into the secondary. If he drops it, it's incomplete because it's a forward pass. It's not like a screen that you throw backwards sometimes.
Schuler 5 of 10 for a total of 67 yards with 1 pick. 5 receivers, lots to choose from, and it's dropped by Craig Faulkner. You won't see that often, so keep the video of that. Faulkner caught 40 passes this year for a team leading 680 yards.
See, now there again, they spread the field this time with 5 receivers. They drove everybody back and then tried to bring Faulkner underneath by himself.
Faulkner
So,
with
almost like the pick in basketball. Pick and roll.
Pick's a 4-letter word in football.
All right, then we call it a rub-off.
Third down and 10. 5 more wideouts. Complete wide open to Joey Kent. And he is rocked at the 34, and he's about 2 yards short of the first down. A good tackle that time by Phil Yaboa Cody. So the Penn State defense holds.
What a tackle. I mean, that was a slobber knocker. He got up looking out of his ear hole because Yeboah Kotal came in there and just put him right on, pancaked him.
Okay, now we get a look at another dangerous punt returner, Bobby Engram. Tommy Hutton on his own 22, the lefty with a high spiraling punt. At the 28, Engram out to the 42-yard line. One of the top punt returners in the Big Ten returns at 14 yards after the 38-yard punt. The tackle by Mario Brunson. 10-7 from Orlando. Come on back. A look from our airship above, Shamu. Look at Orlando, Florida. One of the real jewels of Central Florida. There's a look at the Citrus Bowl. I'm Mark Jones along with Tim Brandt and John Spagnola down on the sidelines. Happy New Year to you and yours from all of us at ABC. It's 10-7. Penn State trails by 3. But this is their best starting field position of the afternoon. Collins with a quick drop. Complete for the first down to Bobby Engram. A pickup of 16 yards for the All-American.
Boy, that was a great throw that time by Collins. Tennessee was playing in and out. It looked like a combination defense. Engram just ran by Jenkins. The safety came over. The ball had to be thrown perfectly between the safety and the DB. You see right there, it's perfectly thrown, and the catch is made. Parker was closing in quickly.
Engram with 4 receptions for a total of 62 yards. And you can almost sense Kerry Collins' confidence growing. A reverse to Engram. He shakes off one, and he's on his feet. He could go. Engram out of bounds at the 7. Finally pushed out by Jenkins.
Guy, they call him the big play guy. Offensive line has to hold its blocks. All right, now they get the blocks. One slips through. That was Morris, but he misses the block. Now here comes Engram. Explodes into the secondary. Parker has to chase him down from behind.
First and goal from the 7. And Kijana Carter slips.
You know, there's a lot of slipping and sliding out there from both teams. I don't know if they wore the short-nippled cleats, but the thing is, it rained all morning. The field wasn't covered. I know the field is in great shape. There's not holding much water, but on the surface, guys are slipping.
We saw Penn State have the same problem against Michigan State a month ago when that field surface was like an ice rink.
No gain on the play. Second down.
Second down and goal. The ball at the 8. Carter to the 1-yard line. Kijana Carter, no more for his speed rather than his inside running, but a nice run there, Tim.
Boy, I tell you what, Penn State comes out and says, line up, we're coming at you. This guy, watch the blocks they get now. The push, bam, ride everybody out. Here comes the hole. There's 79, Malinowski. He gets his. Carter keeps going, and again, it's Parker, number 70, who's got to come out of the safety spot to make the tackle. Offensive line is firing out and controlling the line of scrimmage right now.
Third and goal. Full house backfield. Brian Milne slips.
Again, we see the bad footing.
So, Tim, it's 4th and goal. Decision time. You trail by 3. 10:58 remaining in the second quarter.
Get the points on the board. Bring your kicker out and kick it.
And that's exactly what Joe Pa is going to do.
2-yard line.
You would think naturally and obviously he would have preferred the touchdown there. They started off 1st and goal from the 7. In comes Craig Fayak to attempt from 19 yards.
They're checking the cleats on the Penn State sideline. Joe Paterno was even looking at the shoes.
Joes are clean. And Fayak barely makes it inside that upright from 19 yards out. So the shoe of Craig Fayak is working well, and we're knotted at 10 apiece. You know, every time I see Joe Paterno, I feel like going to confession. The head coach for 28 years at Penn State, as players were asked what they thought of the head man.
Intense and respected.
I think he's a character.
Tough, but also a teacher. Takes care of the little things.
He's a disciplinarian, a motivator.
And Joe Paterno's a fighter.
Tim Brent, Joe Paterno is
the man that beat us when I was playing at Maryland every year, year in and year out, forever.
very much respected in the coaching ranks, doing things the right way.
Quality guy. He is as congenial off the field, as intense as he is on the field.
And very much revitalized this year because of the new schedule that they played in the Big Ten. Conway kicking off. Here's Billy Williams at the 2. Williams puts his hat down and is tackled at the 22-yard line. We're going to kick it back to New York with John Saunders.
And Mark, we remind everyone that Bowl Day 94 continues, presented by Wavy Lays at 4:30 Eastern Time. It's the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. UCLA against Wisconsin. Badgers haven't been there in 3 decades. Then at 8:30 Eastern Time, one that could figure in the race for the national championship, West Virginia against Florida, and the USF&G Insurance Sugar Bowl. It's all continuing today on Bowl Day 94. Back to you.
Charlie Garner and Mario Brunson in the backfield. 1st and 10 for Heath Schuler. For Faulkner. Hey, that's 2 now that he's dropped.
No, that's exactly right. He should have had it. Bonner was on him, the hero, the strong safety, but that ball was well thrown. It should have been caught. The other one, he wasn't even covered and dropped. So that's 2 drops now for Faulkner. Very rarely do you see that. He's the team leader with 40 catches, now 4th on the all-time list, ahead of Carl Pickens.
Had an interesting discussion with him a few days ago. He said, don't call me a possession receiver. He has 4.4 speed, and he has the flair for the spectacular catch, too.
If he doesn't start catching it, we won't have to call him a possession receiver.
Exactly. Schuler only one of his last 5 passing, but he decides to hand this one off. They run it out to the 27. Downstairs to John Spagnola. John?
Thank you, Mark. You were mentioning on Penn State's previous drive that the field conditions are a little bit wet. You know, there was just a light drizzle. It has not rained all that hard here today, but the field is hard. It's cut very low, and Kajana Carter and Brian Milne both slipped trying to get into the end zone. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for the rest of the day. The running backs have to watch their footing when they get in close. Up to you.
Are they wearing AstroTurf cleats, though, John?
Some of them are wearing molded soles, and some are wearing spikes, but some of the players are changing their shoes right now.
Thank you.
Okay, 3rd down and 6. The quick out this time. Faulkner hangs on to it at the 28-yard line, and he'll be short of the 1st down. So the Penn State defense once again holding.
That ball was not well thrown. He had to stop, come back, and catch it low. And he, too, slipped a little bit.
And you can hear a slight rumble from the Penn State crew that has made the trip to Orlando.
Well, we heard Joe Paterno talking about field position earlier before I so rudely interrupted him. But he's going to get it here.
Tom Hutton into punt. He's standing on his 14-yard line. Ingram on his 32.
Tennessee moved. Lineman went down, got set, then moved, and didn't reset. This is going to give Penn State even better field position.
Before the snap, we had illegal procedure against the offense, 5 yards, still 4th down.
You know, Philip Fulmer is known as a very communicative coach. Well, he's going to communicate a few of those errors to his team right now. Let them know about it.
Former player, young head coach, very successful already. Lost only once in his first 15 games.
Former offensive lineman at Tennessee. A low line drive punt. Ingram at the 40. And he's down at midfield. A 37-yard punt, 11 on the return. And the Nittany Lions have good field position when we come back. Airship Shamu providing us with pictures from high above at a sold-out Citrus Bowl. We're knotted at 10, and Penn State has the ball at midfield.
Last drive, Penn State started on its own 42, got a field goal. This one at midfield.
The handoff is to Carter. Carter has about 3 running off left tackle over Derek Pickett.
Mark, when you talk about Penn State, you talk about balance. That's 66 yards rushing now, and Penn State has 65 yards passing. You cannot get any more balanced than that.
And if Penn State can improve their footing, which they're trying to do there on the sidelines, offensively, they could prosper even more.
I think the guys that are wearing the short nipple cleats, the AstroTurf cleats, ought to think about changing them.
Little play action from Collins going up top. And it's intercepted by Tennessee. Jason Parker, the sophomore from Dallas, Texas, with a pick.
Parker and Davis, this ball was not well thrown. He hangs it up there too long. Again, he's got great protection. The offensive line doing a great job. But watch this, 1 and 7. Here comes 7. Parker, the safety, who was playing free down there to help out number 1, Ronald Davis. Look at this now. Parker's locked on the ball. Ingram never even sees him. He comes and gets it at his highest point, makes the interception. Man-free defense came over. They never did see him. Collins never saw him. Ingram didn't see him. Great interception.
Jason Parker now with 9 career interceptions. Just a sophomore, too. In the shadows of their own goalposts. The ball is running on 1st and 10. That was Charlie Garner. It's 10-10 with 7:38 to play in the first half. I'm Mark Jones along with Tim Brand and John Spagnola. Happy New Year to you all. We're here at the Comp USA Florida Citrus Bowl. The 4th meeting ever between these two teams. And Tennessee leads the series 2 victories to 1. Nose of the ball on the 4-yard line. Second and 8. They run it again. And Garner is tripped up at the 6-yard line by Eric Clare, number 89, a junior.
Boy, what a great play by Clare, too. Used a little bit of a swim move, lost his blocker, penetrated, and actually tripped him up in the backfield. And he stumbled forward to make the save. Get a little bit.
Look at some of the scores from yesterday. Alabama with a win over North Carolina.
Great game by Bergdorf, the quarterback for Alabama. Filling the game's MVP.
Filling in for an injured Jay Barker. 4 wideouts in now on 3rd down and long. They hand it off to Garner. He has the first down and then some. White shoes Charlie Garner has the first down after a pickup of 19 yards.
Garner stepped out of bounds.
Pushed out of bounds by Willie Smith finally.
You asked earlier why he was wearing white shoes and everybody else had on the dark shoes. I think it makes him look faster. That's one thing. But watch this. Everybody gets the push. The 3 linemen are gone. The linebackers chase, can't get there. Secondary tries to take a shot at him. If Rubin, number 39, doesn't at least knock him off stride, he stays inbounds and possibly scores.
He had a big run in that Alabama game that we did. A run that really turned the game around for Tennessee.
That was the first down for Tennessee this quarter.
Play action, Schuler. And it's incomplete, intended for Craig Faulkner. And it hit Yeboah Cody in the back.
See, defensively, somebody's got to yell ball. When that ball's in the air, you got to yell ball because Cody was right there. Yeboah Cody was right there. Great coverage. He turns his head. He's got the interception.
Look at Schuler's numbers this afternoon. Threw 25 touchdown passes in 1993 during the regular season. He's 2 for 6 since that interception, though. The reverse to number 83, Sylvan. Nilo Sylvan tackled at the 32-yard line. Shelly Hammond's in on the stop. Monday night, ABC Sports heads to San Francisco as Jerry Rice, Steve Young, and the NFC West champion 49ers tackle the Philadelphia Eagles in the season finale of ABC's Monday Night Football. Coming your way live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific here on ABC Sports. Third down and short now for Tennessee. Deadlocked at 10 apiece. The handoff to Garner.
The ball carrier to the right side.
Garner, some tough running out to midfield at the 49. Yaboe Cody again in on the tackle, but not before a pickup of 17 yards. And you have to love the way that Charlie Garner is running, Tim.
Well, we're talking about Tennessee spreading the field to make the defense thin. I want you to look at this. All the way over here. Here's one Tennessee guy. Here's the outside guy on this side. What that does is thin out the defense. Then they bring them around, or they can bring these guys and go ahead and roll it, and you'll see everybody's caught inside. The receivers drive the safety and the corners off, and it's wide open territory over there. So they're creating space for the running game.
Tennessee with that balanced offensive attack. Garner again down to the 49-yard line. Love the way he runs. He's got the shoulder pads flapping. He's got the trunk open there. Lou Benfatti in on that tackle. Garner just one of 4 Tennessee running backs to go over 2,000 yards in his career.
Tennessee continues its up-tempo game, not using much of the play clock. Schuler has them in and out. This has been the longest huddle I've seen this quarter. He'll still have to snap by about 10.
4.5 minutes remaining in the first half.
He's changing the play.
4 wide receivers in. Garner. Nice tackle that time by Tyoka Jackson.
Garner's looking for help. Somebody, if you're not going to block, at least fix my jersey. Gets help from Joey Kent.
.350 remaining in the first half. 10-10.
Tennessee now coming back, Mark, after going 1-2-3 punt the last 2 possessions.
Consuming a little more time on this one. Garner again getting a lot of work. Geltizer slows him up. And then they finally make the tackle. And he's short of the first down, or right near the marker anyway.
Penn State brought in Cliff Dingle, who's a safety, a hero backer, almost as a linebacker to help out on the corners, where that attack of Tennessee has been very successful.
There's a flag down, Tim, at the 41-yard line. Here's our official, Mike Pereira.
It's going to be against Penn State.
Incidental face mask. 5 yards against the defense. Tacked on to the end of the run. First down.
Well, the measure is a non-issue now.
You'll see it at the end of the play, but again, watch for number 26 in the white jersey. That's Dingle. He's the hero backer. Here he comes. He's the guilty party. See his right hand locked on that face mask.
We've seen one of those now on each side.
Dingle's listed as a third-team safety. They're bringing him in for a little more speed on the corner.
Schuler out of the shotgun this time. Mose Phillips in motion. And we have some whistles.
It is definitely not a delay game. Had to be some movement somewhere.
Prior to the snap, we had a false start on the offense. 5 yards, 1st and 15.
So they give back some of the yardage that they gained by virtue of the face mask. 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half. It's still 10-10. Heath Schuler not as accurate after throwing that interception. Two receivers out to the top of your screen. One of them, Craig Faulkner, in the slot. The draw play. Tackled at the 43-yard line.
Lou Benfatti, number 55, was there. Again, Tennessee with 4 wides. Tried to use the entire width of the field. Benfatti penetrated and made the stop.
That's why he's an All-American. Coming up at halftime from our New York studios, John Saunders will have scores and highlights from today's bowl games. Plus, from here in Orlando, our halftime extravaganza, the Paradise Island Spectacular. That's a good show. We saw them rehearsing yesterday. Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Second down and 17. 5 receivers out for the balls. Underneath to Kent. Breaks 2 tackles. And he's brought down at the 42-yard line. Shelly Hammonds leading the way. Penn State defense really swarming to the ball that time.
I've seen Tennessee use that play a lot. They go to the 4 wides. They have 3 of them drive the defense back, especially in the zone. You see guys getting back into their hook areas very quickly, and then they drag the receiver underneath the linebackers. That's what Kent did that time.
Heath Schuler looking at 3rd down and 16. Bexford has a strong leg. And they would have to push it at least a little closer. Underneath to Mose Phillips, breaks 2 tackles, but he's brought down at the 32-yard line.
That won't even be close to the first down, so Phil Fulmer now has to start thinking ahead a little bit.
Got about 5 to go, Tim. Mose Phillips making the catch, Willie Smith making the tackle. Bexford's longest field goal is from 51 yards.
I don't see the field goal team coming on. They're deep in Penn State territory. We've got 4th down. They haven't really flipped it over yet. It still says 3rd. I think that's what confused Phil Fulmer.
Flashbacks of Missouri and Colorado a couple of years ago. We don't want to get into that right now.
Well, now Schuler says he wants a timeout. He comes to the sidelines. He's going to talk this over with Phil.
The coach and one of his star pupils chatting the matter over. 1:13 to play in the first half from Orlando. Back in Orlando after talking it over, John Bexford now coming in to attempt a field goal from 50, Tim.
Got to watch the fake if you're on defense. It's a 50-yarder. That'll be a bowl record. His longest, 51. We saw him hitting from beyond 50 yesterday. Very little wind.
Out of the hold of Lance Wheaton. He gets it up, and Bexford now is 14 of 15 on the season. A monument to accuracy, and it amounts to a 3-point lead for the Vols. Back after this. A look from above from Airship Shamu, and it looks like one of those Rorschach tests, doesn't it? You can really pick out the orange, Tim. Shamu is joined by the dolphins, penguins, sharks, and other fascinating sea creatures, and much, much more at SeaWorld Parks. Give me 10 more, boys. 1:08 to play in the first half as we look at the scoring drive by Tennessee. 13 plays, 66 yards, using up a little over 6.5 minutes. And capped by that now 50-yard field goal by John Bexford.
That 50-yard field goal is a bowl record here.
Bexford kicking off now with Stephen Pitts and Shelly Hammonds. Pitts lets it go out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
They'll line it up at the 35. First down there for Penn State. Now you got to start thinking about Fayak and how long his field goal leg will take him. His career long is 50 yards. That means Penn State has to get down to the 33-yard line to be in his range. Penn State has all 3 timeouts left and 1:08 left in the half.
Collins with 1 interception so far this afternoon. Heath Schuler also with a pick, and there's a look at John Bexford. Interesting story with him was that he was suspended earlier in the season. Forget this, Tim. Throwing water balloons out of a dorm room. He was probably accurate with the water balloons, too. Mike Archie cuts it back up inside, and he picks up the first down at the 48-yard line. 1:01 to play in the half.
That'll stop the clock long enough to move the chains. Gain of 13.
Let's go downstairs to John Spagnola. John?
As you know, this game was sold out earlier than any other Citrus Bowl, and one of the reasons for that is that these two college football teams are two of the biggest draws in college football. Penn State ranks 3rd, Tennessee 2nd in total attendance last year, with, of course, Michigan ranked 1st.
Another first down. It stops the clock. They'll move the chains. Ingram gets out of bounds with 50 seconds left.
Ingram with yet another reception. Collins delivering the ball well that time, Tim. A pickup of 17 yards. Joe trying to manage that clock proficiently.
Gain of 17. Remember, you have to get it to the 33-yard line to be in Fayak's range. Career long is 50.
He's already hit 1 so far this afternoon.
Right now, Penn State has plenty of time left on the clock with 50 seconds left. They don't have to rush as much.
The handoff to Carter. He slips and is met at the 32-yard line by Scott Gallion.
Take a timeout. Penn State, well, they finally do, so they'll have 2 left.
Nose of the ball on the 33.
Great clock management here by Penn State. 43 seconds still remain.
And Craig Fayak practicing on the sidelines. Fayak also the 2nd-string quarterback.
Yes, he is. He was an outstanding high school quarterback. He's been through good times and bad at Penn State. They remember when he was recruited, they wrote him a little note and they said, hey, listen, you can make it through the good times and the bad. You're going to be successful at Penn State. He's had both, and here he is now, an outstanding kicker, backup quarterback, tremendous athlete. They are right on the verge of being in his range now, still with 43 seconds left. Archie left with a bad hand after that last play.
So Carter comes back in for him.
Score in the Parkwest Bowl in the 2nd quarter, Virginia 7.
These guys got a little banged up. They've been down here since December the 19th, and they went through some very physical workouts early in that week. They were getting antsy a couple of days ago, getting ready to play. They said they were tired of beating up on each other. Wanted to hit some guys in orange jerseys. 43 seconds to play in the half. 2nd down and 8. Little shovel pass, inside pass to Brian O'Neill, and he makes it down to the 26. He's about 1.5 yards shy of the first down. He's tackled by Paul Yatkowski.
No huddle, line them up, keep them going. Clock down to 25 seconds.
Collins, play action. Throws underneath, complete to O'Neill, and he steps out of bounds at the 14. The clock stops with 15 seconds to go, and a first down, a pickup of 12.
O'Neill yelling to himself, saying, stupid, I don't know why. He probably thought he could pick up more yardage, but he got out of bounds. Now watch this. Collins knows he's got to be careful. He's got an isolation on that side with one receiver down the sidelines. It is O'Neill out of the backfield. Now watch this. O'Neill saw a blocker. He thought he could have picked up 5 more yards before he got down to Ronald Davis, number 1.
Ben Talley was in hot pursuit that time as well. Ingram lining up to the short side of the field. Chip LaBarca to the wide side. Carter and O'Neill split behind Collins. Into the end zone. Incomplete, intended for LaBarca. He slipped, or else he may have had it, Tim.
There's no question he slipped. He freed himself, separated from the defender. He got open. The ball was there. He just lost his feet before the ball approached him.
The good thing is the clock stops with 10 seconds to play.
Take another look at this. It's a well-thrown ball by Collins. He puts it where the DB can't get it. You'll see at the end of this, you'll see him go down a little bit, LaBarca. There goes his feet. He slipped, so that would have been a touchdown.
They hand it off to John Carter. He's got a block. He's in the house.
Great clock management. Outstanding drive by Penn State. 3 seconds left on the clock when they score that touchdown.
Tim, they went 7 plays, used 65 yards, went 65 yards in all, and 1:05 on the clock. Fayak with the extra point, and with 3 seconds to go in the first half, Kijana Carter puts Penn State up.
He used all of his 4.3 speed. He's only the 10th 1,000-yard rusher in Penn State history. Watch this. Watch the block he gets from 68 Johnson. Bam! Right there. That opens up the outside. Parker, number 7, gets there at the goal line. Too little, too late. 212 pounds. You're not going to knock him out of bounds like that. You see Ingram, 41. Here comes Parker. Touchdown. Big, strong running back with great speed. Here's his reaction.
Boom. There it is, Kijana. He's the man, and right now Penn State is the team. They lead by 4 with 3 seconds to play in the first half. And Tim, overall, a very well played first half by both teams, you think?
Absolutely. Of course, the turnover by Tennessee really hurt Schuler, took him out of a rhythm he had earlier. I think Penn State maintained its composure, knows how good it is, found itself down early, came back, and now is taking the lead here at the half. And that guy right there, back from injury, he adds experience and a unique talent to find open areas. We talked about his speed, very close to his mom. He says, you can call me a mama's boy anytime, because my mom is my best friend. He's a quality guy, this kid.
You know, the good thing about Carter and Archie and Pitts is that all 3 of them split time, and they're very good friends on and off the field. Fayak kicks it off, just whips it downfield. Charlie Garner. Remember, Penn State 8-0 when they win the toss. They receive here. It's Shelly Hammonds right up the middle. Hammonds with a nice productive return out to the 40-yard line. And again, it gives Penn State good field position. He was tackled by Nilo Sylvan, a backup wide receiver for the Volunteers. A 32-yard kickoff return for the Nittany Lions. Kerry Collins in the first half threw just 1 interception, but started to move the offense from about the middle point of the first quarter on. Chip LaBarca in motion on 1st down and 10. Archie cutting back. Cutting back again and down at the 41-yard line. A first down for the Nittany Lions, a pickup of 19 yards. And that fuse is starting to burn. A good block downfield by Chip LaBarca. 1st down and 10 for the Nittany Lions in Volunteer territory at the 41.
Penn State picking up where it left off at the beginning or the end of that first half. A lot of momentum, varying their things, making their plays. The big play, of course, coming from Hammonds, which gave him great field position.
Freddie Scott in motion to the top of your screen. They hand it off to Archie again. This time picks up about 1 yard off the right tackle. And he's brought down by Shane Bonham. Bonham had 1 sack in the first half for Tennessee. Looking at a guy that started all 11 games this season for the Volunteer front 4.
He started last year as well. Blue-collar guys would go to the first half stats, and these were just about even all the way through. Both teams with a turnover. I think probably the most surprising stat of the whole thing is Gelsheiser on defense just has 2 tackles for Penn State.
Collins looking to hit his tight end, Kyle Brady, but he threw a bounce pass at the 35-yard line, incomplete. Instead of 3rd down and long. Well, people don't realize, although Kerry Collins is a senior, he hasn't gotten a lot of repetitions. He hasn't played a lot of football at that position. He does have 1 year of eligibility remaining. He became the starter after the 4th game of the season when John Sacca up and left the team. Tennessee with its dime package in. Collins has a man open. It's Scott at the 34. Brought down to the 30-yard line, and he has the first down. Put a nice juke on the DB, and he was finally brought down by Scott Gallion, but he picked up 10 yards and got the first down.
Scott, the son of former Baltimore Colt receiver Freddie Scott, high school scholastic, All-American. the community day school. He gets locked on one-on-one with number 1, Ronald Davis. Davis was playing soft, had to come up and recover. They had him on the isolation pass, and it took a lot of pursuit to bring him down after he got past Davis. First down, move the chains.
Scott out of the ball game now. They hand it off on first down. Archie picks up about 5 down to the 23-yard line. Horace Morris making the tackle for Tennessee.
I think Mike Archie's a great story. You know, he played behind Carter all year until Carter got hurt. He played behind Richie Anderson before that. He was very, very patient. Finally got his opportunity when Carter got hurt, came in and ran for over 100 yards the first time he had it, 175 yards the second game he had it. The talent.
People started asking, Tajana who?
Yeah, and where's Archie been?
Out of the backfield in the flat, it's Archie. Nice tackle that time. Deron Jenkins came up from the corner to provide support.
Yeah,
and
but
good
it was
support.
It was Raymond Austin that got there, Mark. You know, he's a playmaker, a future star. Coaches didn't even know about this kid. All of a sudden, he wrote them and said, hey, will you give me a look? Saw a couple plays of him and said, hey, this guy's big time. We want to give him a scholarship.
Joe's convinced, too. Ball to 23. LaBarca in motion. 3rd down and 2. Collins finds his receiver. LaBarca for the first down. He was tackled by Ronald Davis, but too late. And this Penn State offense, Tim, really starting to hit their stride and finding their rhythm. A pickup for the first down.
5-yard gain.
LaBarca like a basketball player that time on the side. Watch how he used his body to shield Davis, the defender. Ball was well thrown. He came in. He didn't have good position on the defender. Stepped right in front of him and just about blocked him out.
The nose of the ball on the 17-yard line. Carter, the deep back in the eye. And here he is, muscling his way off the left tackle, running over Derek Pickett. And he's tackled by Raymond Austin and Reggie Ingram, the middle linebacker.
See, Austin will get part credit for that tackle. But when he watches it with his teammates, he's going to be a little bit embarrassed because he was on his back when the play ended.
Tajana Carter, the pro scouts say that he has tremendously strong legs. Good pins on him, great wheels. Just underway here in the 3rd quarter, Penn State leading 17-13. They've taken the opening kickoff of the quarter and marched it downfield. It's 2nd and 6. A counter. Carter dancing, bobbing, weaving, sidestepping down to the 7-yard line. It'll set up 3rd down and about 2 to go.
Nice job by Carter trying to find a hole that wasn't there. They pulled Pickett and brought him around to lead him up through the hole. Carter left him early.
Brian O'Neill checking out of the game. Whitman checking out of the game. O'Neill coming in.
5 yards every time he touches the ball today. He's averaging.
3rd and short. O'Neill over top. It's going to be close. He was met right on the top floor, but now it's signaled a first down.
Penn State scored on 2 of the last 3 possessions of the first half, and now they take this one and they're jamming this one right down Tennessee's throat. Smash mouth football, line up and let's go after it. That's what they're saying.
And Joe Pa's fired up too. There was a lot of giddy up in his gallop on the way to the locker room at halftime. This is the 11th play of the drive. 1st and goal for Penn State. Collins wide open. Touchdown, Kyle Brady.
Reception of the year for Brady. It's a touchdown, and what a well-designed play by Penn State.
His first catch of the day, a 7-yard pickup is good for 6 points.
I'll tell you this, Deron Jenkins, the cornerback, is still looking for him. Everything comes to this side. Now watch him throw back. Jenkins is supposed to pick up the tight end, Brady, as he slips out. There's number 18 now, coming late. And the extra point is good.
Penn State not known as a passing team, but right now they have a passing fancy that is the fancy of all of State College, Pennsylvania. They lead 24-13. Kyle Brady with a 7-yard touchdown catch to make it 24-13, Penn State over Tennessee.
Finally got his chance. For years they said he had potential. Brady said, I don't ever want to hear that again, potential. He's got the combination of size, strength, and speed. Reminds me of Dan Natale or Ted Koala.
John Spagnola down on the sidelines noted earlier in the week that this guy can really block as well as catch. And John knows something about tight ends, having been an all-pro himself. Here's Billy Williams. Williams tackled at the 21-yard line. The Penn State posse really fired up. Tim, let's take another look at this touchdown.
Kyle Brady, this is a play. Go ahead and roll it. He's over here. He's going to come across the middle, but all the action goes to the left. Now stop it right there. There is Kyle Brady getting lost. Now he'll drag across here. He'll be wide open because all the action's going the other way. Penn State has run this play forever, and it's always been successful because nobody catches him coming across.
Heath Schuler with a job to do. Hands it off to Charlie Garner. Stops up after a gain of about 1, but there's a flag back at the 10-yard line as Heath Schuler may have been roughed up by Tyoka Jackson, number 97, and that is the call.
Trying to keep that on line straight here.
What?
A flag was thrown immediately back at the 10-yard line.
Personal foul, defense, 15 yards, tacked onto the run, first down.
Saw those numbers and how things have changed. Joe's not happy about that. But I'll tell you this, Penn State, what a turnaround. Penn State has outscored Tennessee 24-3 since the Vols jumped out to that 10-0 lead. To be honest, I think at that point when it was 10-0, fans were starting to say, hey, we could have a blowout. They're dominating. And Penn State woke up, and now it's been all the Nittany Lions.
First down and 10 after that personal foul. A waggle here. Wide open. Craig Butler hangs on to it. And he's brought down about 3 yards shy of the first down at the 46. Gang tackled, and Tony Pittman led the charge.
There again, Faulkner slipped. He made the catch and started to turn upfield, lost his footing.
Getting back to Faulkner, he broke his wrist in a motorcycle accident in May of '91. He's come back to have a good season here. Doctors told him he'd never play football again, but the bones regenerated, and he led Tennessee in receptions. Garner on the counter. Trying to find somewhere to go, trying to find a hole, and he's down right near the marker, Tim.
He's going to be a little bit short. You know, back to Faulkner, you were talking about the accident he was in. Recovered from the wrist injury, almost ended his football career, as you said. He did miss spring practice, and he says, hey, I've got to try it. I don't care how bad the wrist is. So instead of giving up football, he decided to come back, and he's had a great year.
And he got rid of the motorcycle, too.
Captain of the team, 6 touchdowns. 31 receptions last year. Came into this game as the team leader with 40.
We have an injured Penn State player down on the field. His name is Vince Stewart.
6'3", 285-pound senior. Stewart is.
Vince Stewart.
Look at Jerry Sandusky, the defensive coordinator.
8:29 remaining in the third quarter. Penn State with a 11-point lead.
Here's Stewart right here, the player that just got hurt, 78. Watch Ben Fatty comes down, his own player, and gets blocked on him and rolls up on his ankle. Here comes Ben Fatty, 55, gets knocked down on his right ankle right there, and then he gets pushed backwards, so the leg gets bent. They're still working on Stewart's knee right now, retaping it.
Third down and short. And Schuler on the quarterback sneak is right at the mark. It appears like he got the first down.
I think he got it to move the chains. Let me tell you this, Mark. Schuler in the first quarter was 5 for 9, 67 yards, a touchdown and an interception. In the second quarter, he was 4 for 8, 24 yards. And now he starts out the third quarter 1 for 1. Talked to Charlie Casserly, the general manager of the Redskins, at halftime. He said, as good as Schuler's playing, I've seen him play much better than this. They think he's the best quarterback in the country, the Redskins do.
There are a lot of teams that would probably agree with them. They're going to measure on this one. Not even close.
See, and there's that kind of information Schuler was looking for. If a team like the Redskins, which you know will get a high draft pick, at least in the top 6, if they think he's the best quarterback in the country, you know, then there is your incentive to come out, because you know it's going to be very profitable.
And the NCAA has really come into the 90s now, allowing players to gather information to help their future, or determine their future at least. 4 wide receivers in for Tennessee. First down and 10. Schuler throwing complete. Out of the backfield, it's Mose Phillips, the fullback. He's brought down at the 46-yard line. Phillips is a good receiver out of the backfield. Had 21 catches on the year for a total of 165 yards. 7:40 remaining in the third quarter, and Tennessee trails by 11 points, 24-13. Philip Fulmer looking for his second victory in a bowl game.
Volunteer offense, coached by that guy, set a school record with 31 touchdowns, but they're not getting it done here.
Schuler trying to escape but can't. Sacked back at the 47-yard line. Number 89, Eric Clare, the nose guard. Let's go downstairs to John Spagnola.
As you know, Heath Schuler, number 21, has received a lot of attention from pro scouts, but on the Penn State side of the football, Shelly Hammond's number 21 has also received a lot of attention, not as a defensive back, but as a running back. Penn State fans remember he had 208 yards against BC a couple of years ago, and they remind him of Gary Brown, who's playing with the Houston Oilers, so he may be converted to running back.
All right, John Hammond with a lot of versatility, as Nilo Sylvan cannot hang on to that pass from Schuler, and Tennessee will have to punt.
Phil Yeboah Cody came in and actually made him readjust his throwing lanes. Bowie Cody came on the blitz. He was coming right at Schuler. When he jumped, Schuler almost had to throw it sidearm. He redesigned what he was doing.
Penn State defensively has frustrated Tennessee since about the second quarter. That's Bobby Engram standing on his own 12-yard line, and Tom Hutton will punt for Tennessee. He's on his 35. A lot of pressure, and Hutton booms this one 8 yards deep and through the back of the end zone. A punt of 51 yards. Penn State playing well offensively with the ball when we come back to Orlando. Back in Orlando, I'm Mark Jones along with Tim Brent and John Spagnola. Penn State leads Tennessee in this Comp USA Florida Citrus Bowl by a score of 24-13. Kerry Collins was 4 of 5 on the last touchdown drive, and he has the ball right now. Behind him, Mike Archie and Brian O'Neill split. Archie trying to get to the corner, has a gain of close to 3 yards. Monday night, ABC Sports heads to San Francisco as Jerry Rice, Steve Young, and the NFC West champion 49ers tackle the Philadelphia Eagles in the season finale of ABC's Monday Night Football. Coming your way live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific here on ABC Sports. Terry Collins coming off a career day in the game prior to this against Michigan State and playing well now. Archie upended and sent airborne at the 27-yard line by Raymond Austin from a strong safety spot. Came up and put the hat on.
Arizona dominated Miami. We all remember last year, 8-7 was the final. Arizona lost it to Miami. Came back looking for a little revenge.
That game came down to a field goal at the end of the game.
I'll tell you this, Tennessee has to start feeling a sense of urgency on the defense.
Play action by Collins. Wide open. Incomplete. Freddie Scott had nothing or nobody standing between him and the end zone except that catch.
Talk about a breakdown defensively. No one picked him up. The only guy even in sight was Jenkins. And again, he was 10 yards away.
If there's a pass that Collins wants back, that was it.
Look at this. Here comes Jenkins. Jenkins still not within 10 yards of the ball. That ball's well thrown. It's a touchdown.
Freddie Scott laid out for it, but couldn't get it. Now V.J. Masillo standing on his 13. Tennessee could use a good return here. A flag down and a reverse. Nilo Sylvan. And he's brought down at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, but there's a flag. It's going to be brought back, and it's going to be a block in the back by Torrey Noel of Tennessee.
That's exactly what it was. Sean Summers handed off to Sylvan, and he had a couple of blockers out there with him.
Well, there is no fair catch call. Now watch, here's number 9 right here. This is Noel. And watch the block he puts in the back right here. No question about it. Bring it back, all for naught.
Illegal block in the back against the return team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Nice play. And a mental error. Noel's got to let him go and run by the return man.
So instead of having the ball at midfield, the 49, Tennessee now has the pill at the 17.
On their own 17-yard line.
First and 10, 4:58 remaining in the third quarter, and Tennessee trails by 11. A screen pass complete to Garner. And he's brought down at the 18-yard line. He'll have about 5 yards, tackled by Tyoka Jackson. Now, Philip Fulmer is a former offensive line coach and has a reputation for being an offensive-minded coach. You would think that he would have some words to tell his team right here.
I think he did. He said, let's go to the hurry up. We won't have a huddle. Let's start getting into our hurry up offense, our 2-minute mode. Even though it's 4:20 to go in the third quarter, we've got to generate some offense.
4 receivers out, motion up front. Tyoka Jackson stepped over the line, but he may have been drawn offside.
I think he was. I think Ratliff came out of his offensive stance. And it all depends whether number 97 was in the neutral zone by the time he moved. I believe it's against Tennessee.
Prior to the snap, we have a false start on the offense, 5 yards, still second down.
On the offensive line.
It's a good call. It is against Leslie Ratliff. He was watching Jackson. Jackson flinched, and Ratliff came up. You can't have that motion. Once you step on that offensive line, you've got to stay. Freeze. Don't move.
Fulmer taking a lot of pride in the work of that offensive line. Schuler trying to pass. Rocked at the 12-yard line by Gelsheiser. Boy, that's the type of hit that when you come to, your clothes are out of style.
You know, that's only the 3rd tackle by Gelsheiser today. Here it is from the blimp. See what happens. Here's Gelsheiser right here. Now watch. Schuler will drop back. Man, this is all 22. Actually, here they come. Here's the pursuit. Here's Gelsheiser coming into your picture right now. Here it comes. Bam. Tuck the tail, sky the eyes. That's kind of a unique view, isn't it?
Way up.
Bird's eye.
And Schuler got a bird's eye view of it. Great picture from up above. And here's another look at the airship Shamu, representing the Sea World parks here in Orlando, as well as Texas, California, and Ohio. Downstairs now to John Spagnola. John?
Thank you, Mark. You know, it's 3rd down and 13. Tennessee just called a timeout, but there was confusion in the Tennessee offense. Some of the players thought they were still in a hurry-up mode. Some thought they were going to huddle up, and by the time they got around to getting a play in and getting it called, Heath Schuler had to call a timeout, but Tennessee looks a little bit confused right now offensively.
All right, John, that's exactly what you were saying, Tim, is that, you know, the coach has told the guys, we got to put some hustle behind this muscle here and speed things up a notch.
I don't think there's any question about that, but at the same time, everybody's got to be on the same page. You're going to run into problems. You'll have a lack of execution like we saw in that last play where Schuler had to scramble.
3:33 remaining in the third quarter. James Stewart, the only back. 4 wideouts in for Tennessee. 3rd and 13. Schuler, complete, and a first down to Corey Fleming. A clutch catch by the senior. Tackled immediately by Shelly Hammonds, but not before a 22-yard gain.
Well, I tell you, they brought the linebacker up, Killens on defense. It looked like they were coming with the blitz. Great protection. Everybody picks it up. Now stop it right here. You still see everybody's protecting him. He steps up and finds his secondary receiver across the middle, Fleming, and hit him perfectly for the first down.
Corey Fleming already with 1 touchdown today. A screen pass. Mose Phillips. Mose tiptoes down to the 42. Tackled by Jackson. Pickup of 7 yards.
Jeff Perry, the guy that put pressure on him, number 82, is 6'3", and Schuler is not alarmed by that. Here comes 82 right there, and he still just drops it right over top.
That's poise.
It really is, and he shows a great deal of poise, even when things around him are falling apart.
2nd down and 3. Downfield for Faulkner, incomplete at the 37-yard line. Not for lack of effort, though.
It's as well as that ball can be thrown by Schuler. Rolling, didn't have a lot of space to drop it into. It was a touch pass. He really felt this ball should have been caught. You saw him after he released it, kind of motioning like, oh, the ball was there. That's perfectly thrown. Look at the spiral. Not a whole lot of area to drop it into. He puts it there and felt strongly that it should have been caught. Now watch his reaction. Oh, come on. You got to make that catch.
Faulkner has had 2 drops today. That one not entirely his fault, though. 3rd and 3. Complete. First down. Out of the backfield, James Littleman Stewart. And we're under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Boy, I tell you what, though, Schuler is starting to heat up. Schuler now 15 for 25, 144 yards. This ball's getting a tight revolution on it, too. Look at the spiral he's starting to throw now. He's in a rhythm, 6 for 8 this quarter.
Motion up front. And it looks like it came from the offensive side of the ball. We'll wait and see. Talked about Schuler throwing a tight pass there. Yesterday he was throwing some passes to me before they worked out. He put a cross in my chest. He threw it so hard.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5 yards, the 1st and 15.
This is killing Phil Fulmer. I'm telling you, he knows that to win against a team like Penn State, you have to be mistake-free, fundamentally sound. Guys are jumping, they're moving, they're not making the catches. Frustrating right now. That's the 8th penalty against the Volunteers.
For a total of 55 yards. We are under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Number 6 Tennessee against number 13 Penn State. On the option this time, the pitch. Tackled at the 46-yard line. James Stewart brought down by Cliff Dingle, the DB. And we have an injured player on the Tennessee side of the field.
Cliff Dingle on the tackle.
Try and find out exactly who it is for you in a moment.
Stewart shaking up on the play.
It's James Stewart who just ran the ball. First time we've seen the option this time from Tennessee this afternoon, Tim.
Saw a semi-option, a play that looked like it was going to start to be an option, then they made a pass out of it. But you'll see here, they're trying to get the corner. Killens, though, and Perry. There's Perry, 82, gets cut. Now the corner's got to support. Gelsheiser had the quarterback. They bring the secondary up, and Dingle makes the tackle out of bounds. Watch his ankle, though, as he comes down on the sidelines. See, he get caught in there, got stuck in the turf.
In his left ankle. Two and a half minutes to play in the third quarter. Garner now back in the game. Going downfield. Open on the post, and it's dropped. Billy Williams should have made that catch.
Absolutely. Schuler has to be frustrated right now. Schuler's making the plays, and the teammates aren't giving him a lot of help. Tennessee has a perfectly balanced attack right now. 144 yards passing, 144 yards running. Now watch this. This ball is laid up in the air under a lot of pressure. Here comes Williams. This ball has to be caught. Lay out, make the catch. He didn't even have to lay out. It was in his hands.
Right there in stride.
Oh, this is unbelievable. Tennessee is dropping passes left and right. Very uncharacteristic of the Volunteers. Wide receiver U.
Yep. Schuler to pass again. This one's not dropped. It's caught by the sure-handed Mose Phillips. And he has a first down at the 39-yard line of Penn State. But there's a flag back at the 39 of Tennessee. That was a 15-yard pickup if it stands, and the answer is no.
Again, penalties hurt the Volunteers.
That's their 9th penalty. Stewart still being worked on the sidelines.
Holding. Offense. 10 yards. Repeat third down.
Watch the center of your screen. You'll see the holding. This offensive line has done a nice job for most of the game. Here comes the holding right there. It's a takedown. Jeff Smith knows better than that. Looked like he got locked up on the arm and took him down, but the holding is against big old 74 Smith.
Who's a third-team All-American. We got 4 sophomores and 1 junior on that offensive line. Third down and Miami to go. Schuler gets rid of it. And it's incomplete for David Horn, the tight end, but Lou Benfatti could tell what flavor bubblegum Schuler was chewing right in his face. Downstairs for a report from John Spagnuolo.
Thank you, Mark. They're working on James Stewart's sprained ankle right now. They're not sure how bad it is. They'll tape it up and see if he can get back in the ball game. But he's not sure at this point. The doctors are checking him out. Back upstairs to you.
All right, John. The good thing is for Tennessee, they have depth at that spot with Charlie Garner.
Tennessee has only one play over 20 yards today. That's it.
Hutton punting from his 15-yard line. A low-line drive punt. Returnable. Ingram over midfield and down to the 49-yard line. A 37-yard punt, and they get back 16 by Ingram on the return. Nick Jester making the tackle.
37-yard punt, 15-yard return.
Frustration for Schuler right now. Another Volunteer is injured.
Mark Collins shaken up on the play.
Meanwhile, Penn State's going to have great field position again. The ball already in Tennessee territory.
That's exactly what Joe said at the beginning of the afternoon. He said that field position in the kicking game would be paramount.
Listen, when you shorten the field like this and only play on half the field, it's like running downhill. You don't want to give Penn State the opportunity just to play on half the field, and that's what's been happening.
Well, Wednesday night on ABC, Brian Dennehy stars in the premiere of Birdland. From the producer of Awakenings and Sneakers comes a wonderful new series. Birdland, Wednesday at 10, 9 Central Time on ABC. Mark Holland of Tennessee being helped off the field. His right leg in tow.
Difference in the ball game right now, Mark, as you look at him being taken off. Since the first quarter, Penn State's average starting field position, the 40-yard line. Tennessee, the 18. Major difference.
Enough said. Carter, the lone back. That's Chip LaBarca in motion. 1:35 to play in the third quarter. Carter on the handoff. Gets maybe 1 yard. Tackled by Corey Stone, number 98, as we look at some more scores from college football action. Michigan, the Big Ten, winning big. That Arizona defense really something, Tim. We got a chance to see them earlier in the season. Less than a minute to play in the third quarter. Underneath, complete to Freddie Scott. And Scott is knocked out of bounds at the 40, and he's right at the marker. Right at the first down marker, maybe about 4 yards shy. Knocked out by Jason Parker.
Got 51 seconds to go in the third period. Down 24-13. Defensively, Tennessee now has to become more aggressive. I think now they're being forced to start locking on man coverage, start bringing the blitz, try to get in the face of Collins a little bit. Look at this. There's nobody near Collins. There's nobody near the receiver. They're in a zone defense, and there's no pressure in the backfield.
Freddie Scott was the... Oh, and look at that. It's rough on everyone here today.
One of the biggest hits of the day. Receiver got it.
Brian Milne on the full house backfield, and he steamrolls his way down to the 30-yard line. Brian Milne, who is a picture of courage and toughness. Pickup of 10 yards.
Great story on Brian today in the local paper. The reporter did such a nice job painting the picture. Here's a guy diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease. He fought through it. He's had bone marrow transplants. They never thought he'd play again. He was actually fighting for his life. Brian Piccolo was his favorite movie. He wears number 22 even today.
And in a classy move by Joe Paterno, when he contracted the illness, he said, hey, don't worry about your scholarship. It'll always be there. On the bootleg, going downfield to LaBarca. Almost intercepted, and Tim, there's an argument there for offensive pass interference, maybe. We'll take a look at the replay and find out. Deron Jenkins was providing the coverage in the secondary.
They've been picking on Jenkins. They've been picking on Davis, the two corners. And these guys haven't had a lot of success. But watch, great position here by Jenkins, and here comes LaBarca, actually pushes him. I don't think there is any question that that should be offensive pass interference. More than an argument, no flag was thrown. That's a bad no call.
And it's second down and 10. Scott in motion. The counter to Carter. Scratch that, Archie. Down to the 27-yard line. Tackled by Yatkowski and Talley. And that is the last play of the third quarter in Orlando at the CompUSA Florida Citrus Bowl. We'll return to the 1994 CompUSA Florida Citrus Bowl after this message and a word from our ABC stations. The airship Shamu providing us with wonderful pictures throughout the course of the afternoon. So far, Orange fans haven't had much to cheer about other than the early part of the first quarter. They trail as we begin the fourth quarter by a score of 24-13.
Big third down play for the Tennessee defense right here.
A quick drop and a nice play complete for the first down to the All-American Bobby Ingram. Great ball handling by Kerry Collins, the quarterback, and a 12-yard pickup. Jason Parker made the tackle.
Collins was the cowboy. Just seemed to tie up the linebackers. Watch this. He does a reverse here. Now watch this guy right here. He fights, he comes, and the play brings in here. Set up nicely. Here's Collins. Little reverse. Look at that. Stop it right there. He's already got 5 yards here. Now you got to get the linebacker and the safety to come up and help. They bid on everything.
Too little, too late. The ball on the 15. First and 10. Play action. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Nittany Lions. Bobby Ingram.
Davis again. I almost feel sorry for him. Outstanding throw by Collins. And a super readjustment and comeback by Ingram.
Ingram has one more season left at State College, Pennsylvania, as Fayak tacks on the extra point, and it's 31-13, just underway here in the fourth quarter. Camden, South Carolina, Bobby Ingram. Interesting thing, Tim, is that Ingram was actually recruited by Tennessee out of high school.
Collins threw to a spot, made Ingram readjust. Watch this. Before you even start, this is where Collins is throwing right there. Now, it's a one-on-one. Ingram's locked on with Davis on the left side of your screen. There they go. He already says, if I'm even, I'm leaving. He's got him beaten. Now, look at this. Stop it right there. This is the spot. There goes Davis. He lost his footing, lost his feet. Touchdown.
Davis looked like he was sliding into second base.
Well, it's very difficult to keep your feet down here and still play one-on-one defense. There's the fake. You see Austin, 28, come up into the line, holds up his guy, the back out of the backfield. But look at this. Davis is already down. The ball's well thrown. Ingram came here and readjusted to make the catch.
Love you. I'll see you soon.
A very confident Kerry Collins, and why not? He's played well. Tim, we've seen him grow leaps and bounds even since the Michigan State game, it seems. His confidence has just grown and grown.
You know, people said he was inconsistent, had a tough time finding the secondary receiver. Even the coaches, the offensive coaches said that. And when we talked to Collins, he said, I think that criticism has been unfair. He said, I've been getting better every week. I'm not afraid to find a secondary receiver, and he is confident. So much so that 5 times inside the red zone today, Penn State 4 touchdowns, 1 field goal. Capitalized on every one.
That's money in the bank. Charlie Garner on the run. Out to the 34-yard line. Downstairs for this report from John Spagnola. John, what do you got?
Thank you, Mark. I talked to Heath Schuler. He told me that the Penn State defense is confusing the offensive line with some twists up front. Tim Brandt can show you. They're also playing a robber defense, which means they're taking away the in routes for Tennessee. But boy, when that offensive unit came off the field, Phil Fulmer gave them a talking to that I don't think they've had since the Alabama game. They really are fired up at this point, and they have to get something going. Back upstairs, Mark.
John, I guess so. You know, Tennessee came out and went 10-0. Since that time, Penn State has outscored them 31-3.
Tennessee now with 5 wideouts in. They come to the weak side of the field, and Fleming, a game breaker with a touchdown already today, but not on that play. He's brought down at the 42-yard line by Lee Rubin, the free safety, who's had a good afternoon.
Well, there's no secret what they have to do now with 14 minutes to go in the game and down 31-13. Defense knows it. Offense knows it. Everybody in the stands knows that Penn State has to sit back now and stop the pass because Schuler's going to be firing from everywhere. 5 receivers again.
13:40 remaining in the ball game. Underneath, complete to Nilo Sylvan, breaks 1 tackle. And is pushed out of bounds at the 44 by number 80, Rob Holmberg.
Every drive now, Mark, Tennessee has to be thinking like it's 2-minute drill. All right, this stops the clock first because he gets out of bounds, but also it moves the chains. Look, first of all, look how they spread the field, okay? Now they're going to try to throw under this zone coverage that Penn State's showing right now. All right, they all drop back into the hook area. Look, stop it. All right, now he's bringing it back underneath. There's the receiver, and here are all the defenders back here. Right now they're throwing underneath. I'll guarantee you, Penn State playing soft won't allow the long pass.
5 more wideouts. And Billy Williams took his eye off of that and was running with the ball before he caught it.
6 drops today. 6 drops. That one hit him in the face mask.
That's the second one that Williams has dropped. He had one earlier on a post pattern that would have gone for a touchdown.
Schuler's throwing the ball with a great deal of velocity. He's very accurate. These guys are dropping passes.
Billy Williams earlier in the week missed a day because of the flu, but I don't think you can blame that one on the flu.
Quarterback comparison's pretty close today.
Complete to Faulkner.
That's complete to Craig Faulkner.
Got out of bounds.
Right at the 37, about 3 yards shy of the first down. Lee Rubin in on the coverage and tackle again.
Saw the quarterback comparison, and we had talked about the 8 drop balls by the receivers. That certainly makes a difference in those numbers.
And I'm sure that there are a few people at home and right here in this booth, the press booth, wondering if this is Heath Schuler's last collegiate football game.
I know how I feel. I think it definitely is. I'll guarantee he's coming out.
3rd down and 3. Kent in motion. Incomplete for Faulkner. Now that one was thrown behind him.
And too hard.
4th down. And you trail by 18 points with 13:02 to play.
Oh, there are no more decisions about that. 4th down, he's got to go for it.
This is the 4th meeting between these two teams. Tennessee has won 2. Penn State winning their last meeting 2 years ago.
He's got to score a touchdown on this drive.
They're 6 of 10 on 4th down conversions. A counter in the pitch. And Garner's brought down shy of the first down. They stayed home and read it. Lee Rubin.
What a great play by 39 Rubin. Out there by himself. He knows he's got to stop the first down. He does with a great open field tackle.
Lee Rubin, a man with a handle on his future, and the future looking good for Penn State.
Heath Schuler injured his left hand, and it was on this play. Watch the left hand of your screen. Tioka Jackson comes, gets a hit on him. All right, now here we go. The hand is up in the chest plate. The helmet hits it there. And now watch when he rolls over. Watch Schuler go after that left hand, knowing that he's hurt pretty badly. They're working on it. You can see it looks like one of those metatarsals up in the hand.
Of course, the good news, if there is some, is that it is his non-throwing hand.
Well, it's his left hand, his non-throwing hand, but it's the bottom hand when you take the snap.
For a report on Heath Schuler, here's John Spagnola.
Well, they're working on Heath Schuler's left hand and his left elbow. He got cut up a little bit when a helmet hit him. But he'll go back in, and keep in mind, Tim, he can always take snaps from the shotgun, not from under center if it's too much of a problem and he can't grip the ball effectively with his left hand. Back upstairs to you, Mark.
It's a good point, John. As a matter of fact, we've seen some of that shotgun. He got hurt in the shotgun, and I assume we'll see more of it. But he can also take snaps, but it is the bottom hand and the snap-taking hand.
Here's O'Neal on 2nd down and long. You know, getting back to Schuler, Tim, for just a moment, we saw him play against Alabama, and he suffered a dislocated shoulder in that game. And at that time, not many people knew about that injury, but he continued to play.
You remember he went 10 for 10 in one streak against Alabama, and then really struggled in the second half, and it was because of that shoulder. Tough kid. Say he's a tough guy. They say one time a linebacker hit him late in practice, got 10 punches in before the starting linebacker knew what hit him. Dead even in total yards,
but not where it counts on the scoreboard. Collins looking upfield to Scott. A well-placed ball, but incomplete.
That's incomplete, intended for
Deron Jenkins in on the coverage, and it's time to punt. One of the few times to punt in the second half here for Penn State.
Good defensive stand by Tennessee. Only a minute and 45 seconds went off the clock while Penn State had the ball. That's not exactly what Penn State would like to do. They'd like to melt it a little bit.
V.J. Masillo in punt formation for Penn State.
V.J. Masillo standing on his 27-yard line. Sean Summers back deep on his own 18. Gets away a low kick. He returned and called for a fair catch, actually, at the 27. With 11:22 to play in the CompUSA Florida Citrus Bowl, it's 31-13. Back at the Citrus Bowl, Benji Schuler, the younger brother of Heath Schuler, a freshman receiver, watching on. His brother shaken up just a few moments ago. He's one of the reasons why Heath might consider coming back next season. Schuler out of the shotgun. Hits Corey Fleming. as Fleming out to the 28-yard line.
Fleming was going to throw that ball. That was going to be a throw across the field.
Coming up this week, Olympic bursts are on the line as ABC Sports presents live primetime coverage of the Legs U.S. Figure Skating Championships. It all begins Thursday night as Brian Boitano goes for the gold in the men's finals. Then next Saturday night, our country's top women take to the ice in the ladies' finals. It's a special edition of ABC's Wide World of Sports Thursday and next Saturday night. A low snap. And how low can you go? Schuler sacked by Eric Ravati. A loss of 8 yards.
Getting to the point, you don't know who gets the sack. They're getting there so fast, so quickly at the same time. Watch, here comes Benfatti and Ravati. 94 and 55, two roommates. Bang. Sounds like a law firm, doesn't it? Benfatti and Ravati. Imagine those two guys rooming together. One's 238, one's 270.
Ravati, redshirted last year. Schuler to pass. Threads the needle right at the marker at the 37-yard line. It's ruled complete.
Going to be just short, though. Clock continues to move. 10:15 left. Tennessee just 2 timeouts left. You got to pick up the pace here. Get them in and out. Clock now stops at 10:10 for a measurement. Tennessee averaging just 5 yards per pass attempt today, which is very surprising. But it's that defensive scheme that Penn State's playing. Some 2 deep, 5 under. Also playing the robbers, John said, playing soft, making them throw under, taking away the big play.
That time, Tim, Corey Fleming made the catch for the first down. Heath Schuler, his team trailing 31-13.
Tennessee has to score 2 touchdowns, get the 2-point conversions, and a field goal.
First and 10, Tennessee. Ball at the 37.5-yard line.
It's a lot to ask in 10 minutes.
Especially in light of the way that this Penn State defense has played in the second half. From the blind side, almost picked off. Brian Gelsheiser laid out and couldn't squeeze it.
You know what happened on that play? Schuler dropped back, and his plant foot slipped. He had to reload.
And it cost him accuracy.
Watch when he drops, and you'll see his right plant foot when he sees the receiver open. Right here, bam, there's the slip. He's got to regain his balance. That gives the defender time to get there and gives Gelsheiser time to read and react and get to the hook zone.
Ravati again, Tim, providing some pressure from the backside. 2nd and 10. Quick 3-step drop. And the pass is knocked down by who else? Ravati.
In your face. You know, he sat out 2 weeks after collapsing on the sidelines with convulsions, a seizure. They think it was just a high fever and a virus that caused it. They had all these tests they went through. They didn't know if he'd play again. He came back after 2 weeks. Look at him now. Picture of health, 6'3", 238 with a 6-foot wingspan. Bam. Back at you.
Ravati told us before that Michigan State game that he wanted to redshirt 1992 so that he could play in a Big Ten conference schedule this season. And he's glad he made the move. 9:47 to play. Schuler completes it underneath to Nilo Sylvan, but he's brought down at the 41-yard line by Gelsheiser.
Schuler now 21 for 37, 190 yards, but there are all these little rinky-dink things, dink and dunk underneath that's not helping him.
That jump change won't get it done right now. 4th down and 7.
All right, now the 4 don'ts of the kicking game. If you're Penn State, you got to don't be all sides, don't rough the kicker, don't let the ball hit the ground, and don't clip. But number 1, look for the fake.
They're in the part of the field where that tends to happen. Hutton standing on his 26. He bobbles it and gets it away. And he gets away a great punt. Ingram with the fair catch back at the 15-yard line. The crew from State College, Pennsylvania, leading 31-13. sports coverage of the 1994 CompUSA Florida Citrus Bowl, brought to you by CompUSA. With over 5,000 computer products, CompUSA is the computer superstore. Budweiser, Beechwood Age for crisp, clean, classic taste. The all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was and more. And MCI. Well, Smokey's got to start smoking, get his troops stoked up a little bit. They trail 31-13 with 8:56 remaining in the game. Penn State with the ball. This is Kijana Carter. Off tackle out to the 20-yard line. Tackled by Ronald Davis.
I think Penn State has really out-hit Tennessee today. They've confused them. They've executed very well. Consequently, lead 31-13.
And a productive day for Carter with 2 touchdowns.
Surprised a lot of people, as we mentioned at the top of the telecast. Tennessee came in as the favorite. That seemed to motivate the Penn State kids.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. We heard that as a common theme through the Nittany Lion camp all week. Carter again. Tippy towing his way down the sidelines for the first down at the 32-yard line. The man they nickname Flash, Kijana Carter. A pickup of 11 yards. Paul Yatkowski finally pushing him out of bounds.
Penn State started out this season very, very strongly. Then, as you know, after 2 straight losses, Michigan and Ohio State, they were rocked a little bit. Thought they should have won the Michigan game. Were out hitting the Ohio State game. There was a players-only meeting called. And Lou Benfatti did most of the talking. And they haven't lost since. And, folks, they've been dominant.
And right now, Tim, their game has done most of their talking. And it shows on the face of the opposing side. 7:50 remaining in the ball game. Mike Archie. First you get Flash, now you get cutback.
Penn State trying to make a statement. They know Tennessee was within 7 points of an unbeaten season. Tennessee folks were saying, hey, they should be playing for the national championship themselves. Penn State took that on as a challenge for them.
You get the feeling being around Joe Paterno that he really enjoyed the 1993 football season. There was new life in him, new blood. He was really revitalized. Second down and 7. Archie out to the 39. Tackled by Ingram. John Saunders has something in New York. John, what do you have?
Mark, a reminder that Bowl Day 94 continues, presented by Wavy Lay's Potato Chips, coming up at the bottom of the hour, 4:30 Eastern Time. On the left, that's Wisconsin quarterback Darrell Bevell. He goes up against UCLA. J.J. Stokes is the man the Badgers will have to stop. It's the Rose Bowl coming up at 4:30. Mark, back to you.
All right, John, and a Happy New Year to you and yours. 6.5 minutes to play. Third down. Archie gets rocked at the 37, and a nice tackle by Raymond Austin. And Strutton, proud as a peacock, sticking his chest out, and he deserves to after that lick.
I don't think there's enough time for Tennessee to come back. 6:11 left. Force Penn State to.
Penn State is going to punt, so in comes V.J. Masillo. You wonder how much life is left in Tennessee.
Well, you're down to 5:55 in the ball game, and you need 2 touchdowns, 2-point conversions, and a field goal to win this thing. And they really haven't shown the ability in this half to do that.
The snap bounced back to Masillo. He gets it up and barely. It goes straight up. I think that's going to be a minus yardage punt.
It definitely is. That's a loss of 3 yards, possibly even 4. Minus 4 yards in a punt. Huge break for Tennessee.
It's like taking over on downs at the line of scrimmage and then some. It started with the snap, Tim.
Yeah, first the snap was low. He does a great job getting that off in the first bounce. But then there's pressure coming. He lost his stride, knew he had to get it off a little bit quicker than normal. Look, he's looking straight up. Run it out.
5:31 to play.
Officially minus 4 on the punt. That'll kill your average.
Schuler passing on first down, incomplete for Faulkner. Been a tough day for their leading receiver. Coming up next here on ABC Sports, our college football bowl triple header continues. Big Ten Power Wisconsin takes on Pac-10 champ UCLA and the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, live from Pasadena. Coming up next here on ABC Sports. Here in Orlando, Mark Jones along with Tim Brandt and John Spagnola also in the house. 31-13 with 5:27 to play. Penn State leading. Schuler downfield, complete, a first down, and pushed out of bounds. That was his baby brother, Benji Schuler. Run out of bounds by Holmberg.
Got to pick up the pace. Clock stops, 5:18 as they move the chains. Tennessee still with 2 timeouts left. What a display by Penn State, though. You know, Penn State against Michigan State in the final game, they scored 21 points. The last 21 points of that game, they scored 31 of the last 34 here today.
Schuler almost picked off. Brian Miller, number 34, had to go right through his arms. And he's upset about it, as you can see. Schuler, a touchdown pass and an interception in the first half. Neither of each in the second.
114 yards in this half, but you're right. Goose eggs under the touchdown.
He hands it off to Charlie Garner. Trying to get to the corner, but necktied and brought down by Lee Rubin.
Rubin playing with a lot of emotion today. His final game, doesn't know what he's going to do as far as a pro career. Could get a shot, but he says he's had several meetings with Joe Paterno. May go to law school. Seriously thinking about grad school, possibly in business.
He said something interesting, is that so many of the people that come into the program are almost intimidated by Joe, but he hasn't been. He's enjoyed Joe's company his entire career. Schuler into the end zone, and he overthrows his receiver. Billy Williams ran out of real estate, and he was covered by Brian Miller.
Give Schuler credit, though. He's taking his shots. 4:31 left. It certainly is desperation time.
Tim, with time winding down, it makes you wonder about national championship prospects. And who do you think should be the national champ?
Well, let me say this, Mark. You know me. For years, I've screamed for a national championship game. That certainly is vogue this year. Everybody's jumping on that and saying there should be. I think the guys that write these polls, most of the sports writers, almost all of them, are writers who never played the game.
You have a point, and it's incomplete.
Best team in the country, I really believe, is Florida State. But Nebraska, West Virginia being unbeaten, they deserve a shot at it. You've got to have a championship.
The debate continues when we come back. After this, it's 31-13. Penn State with a huge, huge lead. Tennessee being shut out here in the second half of play. Goose eggs on the scoreboard. A tough day for Craig Faulkner and the rest of the offense, especially in the second half. We have 4:26 to play. Joe Paterno looking for his 15th bowl victory. Here's Kijana Carter. Run out of bounds near the first down marker. And after 28 years of coaching, Paterno still has a lot of energy. That's what he told us a couple of days ago.
I'm excited about this football game. I think it's fun to play against a team as good as Tennessee is and where they're playing right now. And, you know, our kids are looking forward to it. So I think that keeps you. Somebody said to me, well, you know, aren't you nervous about playing? I said, look, if I were home on New Year's Day, I'd be punching the wall. You know, I don't want to be home New Year's Day. I want to be playing. I want to be coaching. I want to be involved in a game like this because it's a great challenge to us. And it's fun. I mean, anybody that thinks otherwise just doesn't understand what competition's all about.
Joe Paterno, you know, Paterno mania still running wild in State College, Pennsylvania. They have life-size cardboard cutouts of Joe Paterno. We saw one on the way driving over to the stadium this morning. They have Joe Paterno coffee mugs, Joe Paterno Santa Claus T-shirts, Joe Paterno golf balls, and they go straight.
We had one of those when I was at Maryland. We'd pull the shade down for bed check, turn the light on, you'd see Joe's, we'd stand his statue up right there in front of the window, silhouette, so the coach would see we were in our rooms.
And a look at some of his achievements in his 28 seasons as head coach. 23 bowl appearances in 27 years.
Had an awful lot of All-Americans up there, too. I helped make some of them.
You wonder if you'll ever see coaches stay at a school for that long. Well, Monday night, ABC Sports heads to San Francisco as Jerry Rice, Steve Young, and the NFC West champs 49ers tackle Philadelphia in the season finale of ABC's Monday Night Football. Coming your way, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific here on ABC Sports. I'm Mark Jones along with Tim Brand and John Spagnola on New Year's Day. And I'd like to take this opportunity to wish the entire Jones family and all my in-laws back in Toronto and Miami all the best in 1994. And a happy new year to you, partner. And you too, John.
Happy New Year to you. You make it sound like a telethon.
Our lines are open. With 4 minutes to play, Carter out to the 39, 2 yards short of the first down, tackled by Jason Parker.
Carter now has about 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. Archie, 13 carries, 70 yards.
And Heath Schuler on the sidelines. You think he's taking his helmet home after this game? You said it before.
I will tell you this. I really am surprised at the outcome of this game. 31-13, Penn State. Who would have thunk it?
And they've done it with a lot of balance. Brian Milne now with O'Neal and Carter. Full house backfield on 3rd and short. Milne right at the marker, and it appears as if, yes, he does have the first down. Joe Paterno's team coming into the game ranked 13th in the nation against number 6 Tennessee. Players told us, the Penn State players, that it was like mini camp again, coming down here and working out on the 19th of December. They got pounded pretty good.
They also got feisty. Joe got feisty this week. Thought with some of the activities, his guys were on their feet too long and out in the sun too long. He stayed focused on this game the entire time.
2:54 to play. Kijana Carter. Gain of 5, tackled by Jason Parker. Don't forget, coming up next on ABC, it's the Rose Bowl, as Wisconsin makes its first Rose Bowl appearance in 31 years. Come in with a record of 9-1-1, and UCLA at 8-3. And if you haven't seen J.J. Stokes play football, then stay tuned, because he is what I think the most talented receiver in college football today.
As a Jerry Rice type receiver. I'm not saying he's on that level, but he certainly does remind you with the way he strides and the way he uses his hands on every pass.
A lot of people in attendance today. 72,456 when the day began. A Citrus Bowl record. And the people from Comp USA, along with the other sponsors, have done a tremendous job at putting this game together. Let's go downstairs to John Spagnola.
Thank you, Mark. You know, Tennessee played today on grass. They were going to lose this football game. But at Neyland Stadium back home, they're selling little pieces of AstroTurf. You see, Tennessee was the first college football team to use AstroTurf back in 1968. Bill Fulmer played on that field. He coached the last AstroTurf game on AstroTurf at Neyland Stadium as well. But they're tearing it up and they're selling little bits and pieces, and you might want to add this to your telethon. I think they go for something like $19.95 all the way up to $2,000.
John, you're my guy. I can't believe you want to charge me that much.
Hey, we'll hawk anything we can today.
John, give me a piece of the end zone, will you?
3rd down and 5 as we approach 2 minutes remaining on New Year's Day in Orlando.
It's going to be 3rd and 5. Penn State just trying to keep that clock running. Time has run out on Tennessee.
Carter again. The senior out to midfield at the 49-yard line, and he's short of the 1st down. So Penn State's going to end 1993, the season anyway, and begin 94 on a positive note. And remember, although Kerry Collins is a senior, he has 1 year of eligibility remaining.
The underdog is going to win this one. How does that bode for the rest of the day? I'd like to be Nebraska and a couple touchdown underdog.
So you really think that there should be a playoff?
I don't think there's any question about it. I don't think people ought to decide in the newspapers, especially if they've never played the game and don't understand it.
What do you got?
Masillo gets off the punt, and Summers with a fair catch at the 20-yard line.
Then the coaches poll, there's another situation, the scenario where the coaches are voting. They don't even reveal themselves, plus they're concerned with their own team and who they're playing. So they've got some ulterior motives in the way they vote.
And sometimes, in all honesty, I don't think that every coach that votes really has a chance to see the teams he's voting on.
And besides that, it's the only sport in the NCAA that doesn't have a national championship. Let me take that back. Even in this sport, they have them, just not at this level.
Lee Rubin sending a shout out to all his guys.
In this time of financial despair, gender equity, and everything else that's taking place in the NCAA, the presidents, the chancellors, they all have to get together and say, hey, look, we've got to have a national championship. These guys don't miss as much school as the basketball players.
We have a new quarterback in now for Tennessee, Jerry Colquitt. He's a 6'4", 194-pound senior. Pardon me, he's a junior.
There was no contact by the player from the defense that went in the neutral zone. Therefore, we had a false start on the offense. Still 1st down.
Speaking with some of the Tennessee fans who were staying at our hotel last night, and they're convinced, or the ones that I were speaking to, that he's gone. He's done.
Who's that?
Some of the Tennessee fans I was speaking to last night.
Yeah, think who's gone?
Think that Heath Schuler.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it.
I can tell you for a fact he's thinking seriously and looking at representation. Colquitt passing. Incomplete at the 25-yard line.
What's the reason for a college education? Basically to educate you and prepare you to make a living the rest of your life. There's more money out there right now for Heath Schuler than he could ever make. By coming back next year, he risks injury, and although I'm sure there would be a Lloyd's of London or some type of insurance policy to protect him, right now he is very, very hot. And the Heisman Trophy next year is not going to make him any more valuable.
Yeah, I really think the people that say he should stay, or some of the people who say that he should stay and get an education, are somewhat hypocritical.
Come back and get an education. You can probably buy the school.
Sure. And Colquitt buys a little turf. He's planted back at the 8-yard line by Jeff Perry, number 82. 48 seconds to play in the game.
I am all for education, but he's got an opportunity now to prepare himself, to fix himself up for the rest of his life. He can always come back and get that education.
If a computer science student gets a job offer in his junior season from IBM, I'd take it too. It's the same thing. Especially when you think about the money being offered. On the out pattern, complete to Joey Kent.
Well, I don't know about that, Mark. I come from an IBM family. They're struggling a little bit right now.
Dump that stock. 12 seconds to play in Orlando at the Comp USA Florida Citrus Bowl, and Joe Paterno is going to notch his 15th bowl victory, and Philip Fulmer for Tennessee will fall to 1-1 in bowl games. I think they're trying to line him up for the Gatorade shower.
He already got it. Wasn't a real good shot. Look at Joe, though. Joe says, I'll get you.
Hey, Joe may be in his upper 60s, but he doesn't forget. Hutton punting it away. State Nittany Lions win it 31-13 in this year's edition of the Comp USA Florida Citrus Bowl. The outstanding offensive and defensive players of the game are Ingram and Rubin, Charlie Garner and Raymond Austin for Tennessee. The next bowl game you'll see on ABC, UCLA against number 9 Wisconsin. For Tim Brent and John Spagnola, I'm Mark Jones. Peace and all the best in 1994.